Okay. Oh, sorry, I
There you
forgot to turn on
are.
the mic. There I am. All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Supermarket Prep. I hope you guys are feeling well and doing good this morning, and I hope you're looking better than the SPY is right now. So, all right, let's get to it, Peter. Obviously, some information coming out right now. The market is digesting it. The SPY is not liking it. What do we have going on?
Yeah, the market's a little oversensitive this morning. Come on, calm down, market. We got some errant data there in the reported column. I didn't clear that. CPI numbers came out just a few moments ago, and they always break it down into sort of multiple numbers here. So let me try and give you the idea. Basically, everything was over the forecast. So that's why we're seeing, which means that basically prices increased more than expected, and the market is really taking it. Well, I mean, it looks drastic compared to how much the market moved earlier. So it's not that huge of a move, but it does feel like an overreaction. CPI month over month for January, and as Jared was saying in Engineering the Markets, this is the first January data we've actually seen. So everything else has generally been December data. So this CPI data, 0.3% increase in prices, what was expected. 0.4% was actually delivered. For the base number, the year over year number. 2.8 was the expected, 3.0 was the number. Again, it depends on whether you look at core or non-core on this. If you look at the core, there was an expected 3.1%. It came out at 3.3. However you look at it, on the month over month, it was about 0.1% higher. On the year over year, it was about 0.2% higher. So but again, this feels like a very dramatic drop. If I'm looking at the SPY and the Qs compared to, I mean, it wasn't that far off. Come on, guys, like let's calm down. Anyways, there is one other big event happening, and that is that Powell is testifying in front of Congress, coming starting at 10 o'clock. Now, I know yesterday we had other testimony from Powell, and today it's happening again. This typically happens, right? It usually does back-to-back testimony. The Congress testimony happening today. I think yesterday was the House, wasn't it? And today it's Congress. I wasn't here yesterday. I mean, I was maxing and relaxing at the spa yesterday. So it was the Senate yesterday. Thank you, Matt. Yeah. So Senate yesterday, Congress today. Anyways, look. It's tough to tell. You never know whether it's going to have a reaction. It really depends on the questions that get asked. If I'm just looking at the market yesterday, doesn't look like we had that much of a market reaction. Looks like we had an initial sort of small drop, and then the market actually climbed for the next 20 minutes after that testimony started yesterday. So we'll see what happens here today. But said the big news this morning was the CPI data coming out, and again the market a little bit of overreaction. So we'll look and see, Carlos, over the next few minutes if we get a bounce back. That's sort of what I would expect, but who knows. We do have a couple of earnings today that we can look at. A few this morning. I know you guys did a sort of show at the close yesterday, watching some earnings then, and had some, I guess, interesting data. Not what was expected, but we'll cover that, I'm sure, as we get to the gap up and the gap down list.
Yeah, absolutely. Yesterday we covered SMCI, Dash, Upstart, and Lyft in our live earning coverage here on YouTube, and then we're doing it again today as well at 3:30. So the link is out already. So if you want to join us, that'll be awesome. Friends, our gappers list brought to you by tradingterminal.com, completely free. You can go in there, log on, and get access to this gappers list and many more scanners. We are heavy on the green side, so a couple of things doing pretty well this morning. It's heavy, some not heavy, but we got plenty of earnings, CVS, SMI, and a bunch of them this morning doing some stuff. And then on the gap down as well, a couple of earnings plus other things moving around a little bit here. So we're just right in the smack in the middle of earnings season, and things continue to heat up pretty nice here. Let's start by what's gapping up today. The first one on deck is going to be ANAB. So if we take a look at ANAB, let's call it ANAB, sounds better. ANAB here, we are up 26% right now, 1.9 million shares traded. So we got tons of volume. Float though, not great. 25 million shares flow. So typically I don't like trading these low flow stocks. Again, given the type of list I expect today, this is not gonna. The bar is set so high for the stuff we want to watch today. This is not gonna even touch anywhere near it. Peter, anything good that we might share on this?
Look, biotech, so you can guess what I'm going to say next. They had positive phase 2B trial data on the endpoint of a drug. Anyways, this company, I've never heard of it. Anaptys Bio. I'm not sure how to say that, but Anaptys. Carlos, like you said, low floats I generally avoid. And on a day like today, when we've got so much happening and moving, I don't think I need to pay attention to this.
Yeah, I fully agree, man. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be, man, surprising one yesterday. Upstart. I mean, this thing, obviously earnings, we did cover it live yesterday with here on the stream. But man, it was just insane. We'll show you what the action looks like here on the 5-minute. It just took off. So we were live watching this here. We didn't take a trade on it, but man, it was wild. It's 67 all the way to 82. And for the most part, it's holding a lot of that, Peter. It's up right now, still 22%. A little bit of a pullback here, given the SPY is reacting a certain way. But yeah, let's update on earnings on the people that did not catch this last night.
Yeah, an impressive move from the stock and impressive results from the company. They announced Q4 earnings, which is what was covered last night. Surpassed their earnings, surpassed the revenue, and most importantly, they issued a very upbeat outlook. So their guidance was well above analyst expectations, and that's what the market loves to hear. And as you can see, they jumped as a result. I mean, they're way up at the top end of this daily range that was set back in December. So this looks good for today, I have to say. I mean, I wasn't here for the earnings yesterday, like I mentioned, but looking at it this morning, I'm thinking, this volume is, compared to what it normally does, it's massive. They just crossed over 1 million shares traded this morning, and I love where it's sitting on the daily chart. So yeah, I think it's probably worth watching.
Yeah, it definitely looks pretty good. Usually this one, not one of the stocks that we have on deck, but today is their day and they got an amazing catalyst behind it. So hopefully that can continue. All right, let's continue here. Let's take a look at, so UPST on my list for sure. Next one on the gappers list is going to be NEUP. Ugh. This is nasty. This is garbage. $5 stock, and the float on this 1.5. I mean, there's none to see here, Peter. Any suggestions?
Euphoria Therapeutic. Well, as soon as I see that, the only thing I can see on news here is that they had a previously announced deal. I mean, we're talking a long time ago that they had a deal with Merck. For their a drug that they are co-developing, or that Merck has agreed to fund, and they achieved the endpoint results in the phase 2 clinical trial of this Alzheimer's drug called MK1176, and received a $15 million milestone payment from Merck as a result. So, I mean, it's good news for them as a company. Doesn't mean I want to trade it, but if you don't mind these low floats, this is actually a pretty good catalyst, because again, it solidifies and improves their relationship with Merck on this drug, and the drug had a very positive outcome and endpoint. So, hey, look, I'm all for anything that helps with Alzheimer's, because to me that is one of the most terrifying diseases out there.
Yeah, it sure is, man. I think it runs in my family, man. A couple of my family members have passed from that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I start forgetting things, you guys know what's going on. Don't blame me. All right, let's see what's happening here. SMCI.
That was dark, Carlos.
It's a little bit dark, right? But you know what it is? I'm just happy, man. Sometimes I make jokes about stuff that gets people upset, but you just gotta be happy and just take everything in the lightest mood possible. If I offend you, I'm sorry, but I'm just always happy, man. This just nothing could ruin my day here. All right, let's take a look. The next one here, Marcin Sabieglo. Good morning to you. Excellent, good list there. Next one on here is going to be our good buddy, SMCI, another one that we watched on earnings last night. Let's come over here and take a look at the action. Jared took an incredible trade on this thing. This is typical Jared stuff. He goes in here at the bottom, picking it long, and he took it all the way to about 37. Then he got in again at 37, took it to 38. I mean, he was just on fire picking some of these bottoms. But obviously, Peter, this has been through a lot of drama with their earnings and numbers and reports and promises to try to stay, listed here. What is the latest and greatest for them today?
You know, I am shocked to see them gapping up this morning. I have to admit, SMCI was the very first thing I looked at this morning to say, all right, what's happening? And I saw it up, and I'm like, okay, so they must have had some good news. And then I look at the news, and it wasn't really good. Like, at least they did release interim results for their quarter, and they were underwhelming. The market was expecting more. That being said, on the good side, their CEO says that they're estimating a conservative $40 billion in revenue next year. Feels like a very round number. The CEO, Charles Lang, said, that's a pretty conservative number. We should be able to do better, but, 40 billion is what we'll commit to. Again, you just throw out like big round numbers like that, it gets me suspicious that we're, picking it out of your somewhere. Anyways, that we're just making it up. That being said, they didn't actually deliver their financial numbers as expected. They did make a commitment to say, well, we will deliver the long-awaited year-end financials by the February 25th deadline that has been imposed upon them. But again, remember, that deadline is just the date. If you don't get your financial numbers in by that date, they will be delisted from the exchange. Like, that's not really the date you should be targeting. So, again, why are they gapping up? Their CFO, Chief Financial Officer, is a guy named David Wiegand, and he said, all this financial stuff is a distraction. That being said, the auditors have called for his removal and hire someone with more experience. So apparently they are looking for a new CFO. So he's soon to be out of a job. And don't forget, in amongst all of this, right, others have gotten involved. Like, they've got a number of lawsuits. The U.S. Department of Justice and the SEC have slapped subpoenas on the company's data and lawsuits against them for concerns over financial malfeasance. I mean, all that stuff hasn't been resolved. The company claims it's superfluous and that is without merit. But what do you expect the company to say, right? But that being said, the fact that they haven't produced actual financial statements would tell me that maybe there's some merit in that. So anyways, all this being said, it's just, like, it's a swirling pot of messiness in my opinion. And the fact that the stock is gapping up this morning, I think is amazing. So you know what? All you people out there that are buying shares, you go, man. You move SMCI. But based on where the company stands, doesn't feel like it's deserved. So look, it's in play, Carlos. I'm going to be watching it. Like, there's just too much craziness going around this stock not to watch it, in my opinion. Whether I'll trade it or not is another story. But I'll certainly be watching.
Yep, 100%. Looks like we logged into on YouTube. We're logged into the wrong stream. We're on the earnings stream instead of the live market stream. So apologies for that. We need to fire this production manager who's doing this. Wait, that's me. Don't fire that guy yet. That's me. Don't fire him yet. Just hold on a second. We'll figure this out. So yeah, so it looks like I logged into the wrong one. So apologies, friends. We'll get it fixed and make sure the one for later today is handled. Okay, all right, let's continue here, friends. Next one on deck this morning is going to be SMCI, also on my list. Again, I'm expecting a really good action out of both of these today, UPST and also SMCI. So I have them both on here. Next is CVS with some surprising pop here, Peter. I mean, the numbers were not great, but they're crushing it, up 10%. So it was a little confusing on what is going on here. Maybe their guidance was awesome. What's the latest and greatest with CVS?
Well, CVS, I mean, look, their numbers in quarter weren't that bad. They did well, I mean, they did beat their numbers. Their revenue is expected at 97.0 billion, and they did 97.7. So, I mean, that's only 4% or something off. It's not even, it's less than 1%. But sorry, they had 4% growth after last quarter. Their earnings were a surprise, though. I think that's probably what it's gapping. Normally, they're pretty tight on their earnings. They were expected to earn 89 cents a share. They actually delivered $1.19, which is a significant surprise there. That's about a 30% surprise. So that's good news for CVS that has struggled. I mean, if we look at this daily stock, you can see how, they sort of plummeted down at the end of last year, managed to claw most of that back, and now are sort of gapping up for the balance here this morning. As you said, though, on their on their forecast, they have they haven't actually released any guidance for 2025 yet. As far as I can tell, in their earnings call, they said nothing, and analysts are still looking to see what they're expecting in the forthcoming year. So, I guess it's sort of another surprise jump up. CVS is a weird one where it's a NYSE stock. Remember that New York Stock Exchange stocks, you've always got to wait until the volume comes in, and I find this one typically goes the opposite direction I think it should based on the results. And maybe I should just play the opposite of what I think. But I watch this regularly, and it confuses me almost every earnings, every quarter. I watch it, and then I'm like, I don't know what the heck it's doing. And then I tell myself, why am I watching it again? And yet I come back and do it again. So maybe I'll just watch SMCI. At least there I can just get out some popcorn and have some fun, as opposed to just letting myself get confused with CVS. But whatever you think of it, it's going to be in play this morning. I promise you that volume will come in again. Watch for it, though. It may not be right at 9:30, right? You got to wait for that big volume spike. Then you know it's going to start whatever move it's going to progress on.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Let's take a look what else we have going on here on tradingterminal.com. We do have some other stuff that's gapping up. But we're gonna stop here because there's so much to that we want to cover, and we don't want to run out of time. So, Peter, as far as the gap up list, anything else you like here, or maybe some stuff that's not on here? Oh, you know what I forgot? Baba. Baba's going to be on my list. This stock has been just incredible. I mean, they definitely played us by not telling us the information that they were going to join with Apple, and this is why this daily list looks so good out of nowhere. But Baba will be on my list for sure. They traded well yesterday. I'm hoping for that today. But and again, that news you guys already know they're partnering up with Apple on their open AI chat GPT thing. But it makes more sense to me now, Peter, because the Baba part with Apple is only for China. Because the minute I saw that, I'm like, the government is not going to allow Apple American users to be with an AI from China. That's not going to work. I mean, we barely could get TikTok almost here, right? So that makes sense. That Apple did announce yesterday it will only be for Chinese users and not for American phones. So that was clear there. But as far as the gap up list, Peter, is there anything you like here?
Well, I was surprised to see Intel, and directly in the theme of what you were talking about, Carlos. When I looked up, so what's happening with Intel? Intel is the only semi other than SMCI, which I put in a separate bucket here, but it's the only semiconductor manufacturer that's gapping up, like because AMD and Nvidia and even Broadcom, and anyways, they're all gapping down. Intel's gapping up because I guess Vance didn't want to be left out of the party, so JD Vance, making announcements now out of the White House, although he's got that office down the hall. He in a speech yesterday said that they are going to take steps to make sure that artificial intelligence chips are made on U.S. soil. Now, that while Intel was not mentioned by name, Intel is pretty much the only major chip manufacturer that still has a foundry in the US, and it has not been doing well because they haven't been cost competitive, and frankly their technology has been behind as well. The most advanced technology has not been coming out of that Intel factory. So Intel is jumping this morning on the expectation that they will probably be the biggest beneficiary. Now, that being said, we have to take a step back here and say, okay, the White House says they're going to take steps to make sure AI chips are manufactured domestically. Great, but are these going to be competitive? Are there going to be chips that are going to allow the U.S. to maintain or take a differentiated leadership in the space? That feels like a big stretch because, frankly, onshore manufacturing of the chips is far behind the offshore capabilities, despite the Intel investments locally. And like chip manufacturing, to build a chip fab plant, like that's 10 years of planning and development and build. Like, you do not do that overnight. So I don't know, I just don't know. Like, I don't see how the White House can possibly back that up. They could dump money into it. Doesn't mean that the best chips are going to be made anytime soon onshore in the U.S. So anyways, all that being said, that's maybe long-term considerations. For today, hey, Intel's jumping up on this news. If people are willing to trade it higher as a result, because in the short term, they're probably going to get funding, right? Whether they could do anything with that funding and end up selling, competitive chips is a whole nother story. That's not the problem for today, or maybe that's not the opportunity today. The opportunity today is trade on the positive sentiment that comes with the statement that JD Vance made. And, we can watch Intel and see if there's a trading opportunity.
Yeah, I like that idea, and I see the way it's moving now too. You're actually getting a pretty nice pre-market activity here, man. This looks pretty interesting. And Intel's a hit or miss. It can trade well at times, but I think this can actually get it going here. It's positive news for them. We'll add them to the list here. I'm gonna put them on my main. They might not stay there, but definitely on the list. All right, excellent, friends. And then I'm going to add Baba on a secondary here. We'll see how it trades today after all the great news they've been receiving. All right, let's see what's gapping down this morning. So on the downside of things, we have Lyft and some other ones. We have KHC, which again, big company, but not great trading ticker. And then we have Uber as well down today. Probably sympathy with Lyft because they reported also not so long ago. So let's start with Lyft here. It's another one that we also looked at yesterday. Thinking about yesterday, I don't see Dash on the gap up scanners. That should be on there. We'll look at that in a second as well because they also crushed it at least last night. But here's Lyft. Lyft is down 13.3 right now. Again, they announced some buybacks of shares or something like that, or offerings of shares, and that obviously, Peter, did not do well for them. You can see here the drop last night. Pretty aggressive. They're still down 30% as of this morning.
Yeah, so their Q4 was not what analysts were expecting. They fell short. I mean, their revenue was slightly higher. They were expected to deliver 1.56 billion. They delivered 1.6, so that was good, but they didn't make as much money. The expectation was they would bring in about 21 cents a share. They only delivered an earnings per share of 15 cents. So that was down. Now, as we all know, the biggest news, I hope you all know by now, that right, what really moves the stock is forward-looking guidance. So Q4 mixed results. Q1, there's two things. One, their guidance overall was lower than analysts had anticipated. The commentary against it was also concerning in that they said they are in fierce competition with Uber. They're sort of, there's been some, they were hinting at a price war forthcoming, which I guess would be good if you're taking cabs a lot or you're looking to take a Lyft or Uber somewhere. Not good for either company, right? Ultimately, the price wars, it's about preserving market share, but you sacrifice your revenue and earnings in the short term to do so. So we'll see what comes of that, if anything. But that concern is weighing on Lyft, and like you said, Carlos, really sort of in sympathy dragging Uber down as well. So overall, not a great earnings for Lyft last night.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have this one on my list. Maybe on a secondary, I'll put a Lyft on there. They just don't trade very well. Again, it's the least of my favorite out of the ones I reported last night. But I'll add that one to my secondary. We'll see if we get any good action out of that one later in the day. Okay, going back to our gappers list, friends, we do have a VRT as well on deck this morning. This one is down quite a bit, down 10% right now, as you can see here. Pre-market action has been just kind of was in the green, falling apart since 6 a.m. this morning. Peter, anything fun on VRT this morning?
They were earnings from this morning. It was one of the few that I was watching, and they had a great quarter. So their last quarter was great. Over delivered on revenue by about 200 million. Over delivered on earnings by about 18%, delivering 99 cents versus an 84-cent expected move. Once again, forecast is what drives the day, and their Q1 forecast was not as high as analysts were expecting. So because of that lowered forecast, they are getting pushed down. Now, one of the key areas of their business that people watch is their data center services and their data center infrastructure, and that was very strong last quarter. So that should be good news for them. It's probably supporting the price a little bit, why they're down just under 10% versus more than that. But yeah, their next quarter guidance is significantly lower than analyst expectations. They were see, analysts were looking for about 357 a share. They're saying maybe they'll do about $350 a share. Analysts were expecting it looks like 9.3 billion here. They're forecasting around 9 billion, 9 to 9.2. So it's again, it's not completely terrible, but you can't disappoint at all, or this seems to be what happens to you. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that this is in play. I mean, again, NYSE stock here, while it's sort of a technology stock, this is trades on the New York Stock Exchange, which means that 1.7 million, that's pretty good volume for this morning. Probably another one that I think I'll just keep an eye on to see what it does.
Yep. Cool, man. Next one on here, KHC. What do we have? Wow, this is dropping nicely too. We are down 6.5 on it right now. 810,000 shares traded. Again, this is Kraft Heinz. Normally, these guys don't trade very well. They're not a great intraday trading ticker. But maybe today could be their day. If any day of some good opportunities, I think today will be it. Peter, we're not selling ketchup, looks like.
Well, yeah, they, both their last quarter and their forthcoming quarter, not as good as expected. So last quarter that they just reported on this morning, revenue was slightly under expectations. They actually made more money than expected. Their earnings were slightly higher, but again, it all hinges on the forecast, and their 2025 profit forecast is falling short of analyst expectations. Like you said, though, it is one of the earnings I was watching. Probably not going to trade this one. They don't typically trade all that well, and I think we've got better things to watch this morning.
Yeah, I believe we really do. With that, the next one on here, I'm going to skip down a little bit. Oh, actually, no, I can't skip Oklo, OKLO. So Oklo is on deck this morning. We are down 4.2. And yeah, 1 million shares traded right now. And this one, as you guys know, on the daily has been extremely active, has given us some really great opportunities. But yeah, I like it. Will be on my list. Whether it's on the main list or secondary, I'm not sure. But there's definitely some good activity coming out of it this morning, as we're seeing here.
Yeah, OKLO continues to move without the need of any news recently. So it had a down day yesterday, it looks like, and looks like it's continuing that this morning. Look how much it's risen. Like, this thing has got a lot of room to move before you can consider the stock in trouble. I mean, it's on the daily. It's it had closed 2025 at $20 stock. I mean, now we're talking about it here at $48 to $50. So you don't have to feel bad for OKLO. Whether Oklo provides trading opportunity or not, it's always tough to tell, because it can gap without any news. We're sitting once again with about 1 million shares. So it seems to be a common number here this morning. You just don't know what's happening with this segment. Like, this is one of the sectors that absolutely is waiting for news, right? They're just waiting for someone out of the White House, especially, to start talking them up or suggesting that there's going to be more investment. They didn't really get that much movement out of the US's withdrawal from the Paris climate deal. There's no specifics about what that means. Is there going to be a change in energy investment? We all know that this sector, right, nuclear, was pointed at as a potential way to get more power on the grid to help support a lot of the needs for AI data centers, which are pretty power heavy. That being said, don't forget that's been offset by the thought or the suggestion that maybe this could be done with significantly less power inputs from DeepSeek, right, that we saw a couple weeks ago. But then we've got the other side of that says there's no way these Chinese technologies are going to invade US shores. Feels a little late for that, because I think wasn't everybody using DeepSeek last week, even though they'd never heard of it like 3 weeks earlier. In any event, Oklo's just stuck in the middle, right, where they're still trying to develop their energy solutions. And look, the stock just continues to move on volume. So if you like it, continue to watch it. I find that the spread is a little variable, so just be careful on this one. It's not my favorite stock to trade.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have it here, man. It can be very wild. I agree. So you got to be careful with that one. But heavily in play this morning. So we'll put it on here on a secondary and see how this goes. All right. As far as our gappers list, what else we have on here? Affirm also down today, and we have Uber. So let's take a look at Affirm and see how that's looking. I know they had a nice gap up not so long ago with their earnings. So they're down slightly this morning, just 2.4, 373,000 shares traded. Not the volume I would like to see on it, but again, could be interesting. Giving Upstart also reporting yesterday and just completely crushing it with a great outlook. Not sure if that's going to affect them or if this is just a market reaction to the sell-off that we saw initially. By the way, Peter, did it continue selling off here? Oh, it's holding. Okay.
It's holding, yeah. It's stabilized here. We're holding in a lowered range here. I'm actually really surprised to see the market not pull back any of those gains. So just catch up for anybody that might have just joined. The market dropped here right at 8:30 with the CPI numbers that came out that showed that the inflation, the consumer price index, was up. For the month of January, sort of the first 2025 numbers that we've seen. It was up by 0.1% on average on the core and non-core, and about 0.2% on the year over year, both core and non-core. So the market, took that as bad news and dropped as a result, and said it's still holding at the low end of this range here. So the SPY, in fact, right now heading a little, just hit a new low. So yeah, Carlos, it actually could be an interesting open. We'll have to see what happens with this once the bigger volume comes in and the opening bell rings.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. All right, let's see here. I think we're pretty much covered. We'll stop here, Peter. As far as the gap up and gap down, anything that you like this morning that the gap down that we haven't talked about yet?
You actually covered everything I was looking to hit. So the few earnings that are gapping down, VRT and Kraft Heinz KHC, you already covered. And I did mention earlier the semiconductor sector, which is largely gapping down. Again, onshore investment or focus from the U.S. would not help those that have basically moved all of their manufacturing offshore, which includes NVIDIA and AMD and Micron and a bunch of others. Intel, I said, is pretty much the only one with a major foundry onshore. That being said, their technology, as far as I'm aware, and what the market seems to be supporting is, would need some upgrading to sort of be on par with a lot of the offshore facilities. So, and again, that's not a short-term thing. That being said, keep in mind this statement out of the White House didn't come with any specifics, as often they do not. So no idea what this means. So Intel it's a speculative bounce. Keep that in mind this morning as you're trading this. I still think Intel's the right play, but I said all the other semis are moving down. I think that sector is worth watching. Carlos, it's gapping up this morning, but I see that Tesla had a big down day yesterday, sort of continuing this trend it's had over the last couple of weeks. Well, look at that daily chart. That is not looking pretty on Tesla. And while it's gapping up by about 0.5% here this morning, it's at the low end of a range that it set back in November of last year. And if this thing doesn't find support here, we could be seeing a drop to and through the $300 mark. So we'll see what happens with Tesla, but it's still in play, right? It's one of my favorites because it's always in play.
Yeah, it was great yesterday, man. I mean, it was a train wreck, and it just kept going. And if you were looking for a reversal, and we kind of mentioned that at our 11 o'clock time, this reminded me of Apple. If you guys remember when Apple started, it was really weak and just kept going, never gave you a reversal. This was Tesla yesterday. So should be interesting today. Will definitely be on my list. I mean, it's definitely a lot of fun to watch and hopefully trade today if we can get some opportunities. All right, friends, so far on my list, UPST, SMCI, Intel, Tesla on the main list. Intel, it looks good today, but I might move that down depending if I find anything else. And then secondary list, Baba, Lyft, and Oklo. Secondary list there. So yeah, so pretty decent list. I think we haven't looked at Apple, we haven't looked at some other ones as well. There's so much to watch today, but we want to give a little bit of time for you guys to see what you guys like this morning. Let's start here in our chat. What's on deck for today, friends? NVIDIA.
On Tesla,
Yeah.
yesterday I saw my first. I'd heard about this from the online memes, but I saw my first live bumper sticker that I understand it's trending now, where it's like on your Tesla, you put a bumper sticker that says, "I bought this before we knew Elon was crazy."
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
Especially
people sort
if
of
you,
backing away now from their
yeah.
Tesla purchase, which is interesting. But
I
I find it
if you
interesting. People would.
live, yeah, if you live in a democratic state, you better have that sticker, because people are just crazy. They'll scratch your car. Remember they were just scratching Elon's car for no reason in California? They were just scratching their cars, like just because you had a Tesla and
Really?
he's the richest guy.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
that's how much people hate Elon. It's crazy. Like, man, get a life. You go scratching people's cars. Get a life, man.
Yeah.
That's not right. That's not right. That's not no bueno. But yeah, man. It's if you're in a democratic state, get your stickers. Keep your car safe. No matter if you're
Oh man.
Republican or not. Sad that we take it this far. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, yep. All right, what else we have here, friends? Let's take a look on NVIDIA being mentioned in chat. Let's see NVIDIA this morning. Let's see NVIDIA. What do we got here? All right, so NVIDIA right now. Oh, NVIDIA's dropping some more, Peter. This is gonna be in play. I'm gonna have to make room for it. So NVIDIA, yes, good call. We'll put NVIDIA on here as well next to Tesla with the sticker bumper. That's good. Thank you for pointing that. What else, friends? Over on YouTube, let's take a look. YouTube HACR, one of your favorite tickers, Peter. ACHR, which is Archer Aviation, I believe it is. Yeah, Archer Aviation. Uh,
Yep.
no, I'm not sure about this one. I don't like the daily. I see the drop that you're getting now in the pre-market, but I don't know, man. We like talking about it. We like talking about the technology, Peter and I, but we don't. I don't think we ever trade this, Peter. We talk about it a lot, but I never traded it. You?
No, I haven't. I think this is one of. I think Megan said she was taking a longer term position in this. So,
Okay.
I, yeah, I believe so. I don't know if she's out there to defend herself or not, but if she did, as long as she did it before December, she's probably feeling okay. If she did it after that, she's probably waiting for something interesting to happen. But in any event, yeah, this is not a good trading stock.
Yeah, I don't like it for day trading, so I won't be watching that one. All right, let's take two more because we do have to get for into our next segment here. CVNA, which is Carvana. I no very no. This is not in play. This only 33,000 shares traded. I see the daily. I see what you're looking at. It's been ripping here. 190 to 270. That is a nice move in the last 2 months here. Yeah, actually lower. Yeah, 170 to 264, man. That is awesome. As far as day trading, they get so much low volume, very difficult to read the price action. Peter, I'm not sure if I don't think they have any news because we didn't see anything major on it. We don't see no volume really. So, but yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it looks like there was some news on it yesterday. They've got these mega site car reconditioning facilities that they like to call them reconditioning mega sites. Anyways, they apparently announced plans for another one. So they've got these. They've got one in Kansas, one in Houston, Las Vegas, Boston, and Atlanta. It looks like, and they're suggesting that they're going to open another one, which I'm surprised that they've got the cash to invest in that. But yeah, look. I haven't really heard much news out of Carvana. As we know, they were carrying a lot of inventory after COVID when car prices skyrocketed, and it really benefited them. And they struggled through 2024, especially the tail end of the year. And then, yeah, they've made a recovery here, in at least in the first month and a half of 2025. But once again, not a stock that's really been in play. Their trading volume has been low. It's hard to do anything with this, right? If you're considering it a long-term portfolio investment, fine. But for a trading stock, yeah, hard to trade.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I'm gonna keep it off the list. We know we forgot to check Dash. I just thought about it. We did have Dash on the earnings last night. and they popped up pretty good, man. They're actually pretty impressive. Here's the 5 minute charts on it. They went all the way down to 182, and then they shot. I mean, they slingshot back up to almost 207, 208. So heavily in play, but again, this is another one that is similar to Lyft. Their volume is very low, and I just don't think you're gonna get great trading action out of it this morning. So for day trading, so I could be completely wrong. I mean, they're up 4% here, almost up higher, but they won't be on my list. But yeah, Peter, another one with earnings last night, and it looks like I don't know what their guidance was and what their call maybe came out of that, but this was one also that that has some pretty impressive moves last night.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, earnings last night looks like their last quarter was good. Fourth coming quarter, or the 2025 year, looks good from a forecast perspective. But like we're talking only 160,000 shares this morning. This is why it wouldn't make our list. It didn't even trade enough to make the bottom end of our list. I don't know what to say. Like, it's not likely to get volume. Like, its average daily volume is under 3 million. Even after earnings today, it'll probably still be in that range. Like, I don't expect much. Yesterday it did trade about 6.5 million, 6.7 million shares. I would expect it to drop down to about 5 million over the day, which, you know what, I've got better things, more fun things, more active stocks to watch than this one.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. All right, friends, we'll stop here. Let's take a look at what's happening on this beautiful snowy here in the Northeast, at least Wednesday. So let's head over to bearbootraders.com. You can click on webinars, and right here on webinars at the top, you can see what's happening for the next 2 weeks. Today is Wednesday, so we'll focus on what's happening today.
Yeah, you say snowy. I mean, we're waiting for it here. Snow is supposed to start later today where I am, and they're forecasting 40 centimeters of snow, which for Americans, that's almost 16 inches of snow to fall within a 24-hour period. So we'll see what happens. I may be under a snowy blanket by the time it comes tomorrow. Well, I guess we already are. There's a lot of snow has fallen the last couple of weeks, but we're expecting a ton more. So yeah, today we are focusing on psychology, as we always do on Wednesdays. We've got a couple of webinars for you. I'll start at the one at the bottom because it's the first chronologically. That happens at 11 a.m. Pierre's going to answer your trading questions. It's a good opportunity sort of get your headspace set. And if you've got questions, whether they're technical or whether they're psychological, he'll help you out at 11 a.m. in the webinar room for all of our elite members. Keep in mind, everybody, we've changed up our schedule, so it's not the exact same schedule of activities as it has been in past weeks. So this is different. This is a new session happening at 11 a.m. today, led by Pierre in the webinar room. Now, what is the same is the Wednesday night session that is at 8 p.m. once again for our elite members in the webinar room. And this is the tag team of Wesley and Lenny. They're going to talk about your sort of your EQ, your emotional intelligence. How do you become self-aware for more resilient trading over the long term? Should be a good session. We all need to focus on our own psychology to trade effectively, and that session will be starting, as I mentioned, at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the webinar room. Next week, Dr. Vanessa Charland will be with us talking about how you can improve your discipline and how to master the art of doing hard things. That I know I need that, so I will be attending that one for sure. So those are our two psychology webinars. I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everybody that that if you want information on the markets, right, the place to go is tradingterminal.com. Check it out. It's got news, the latest events. It's got the calendar of activities. As we're still in earnings season, you want to check out that market calendar. Make sure that you understand what's happening and what's coming. And speaking of the calendar, don't forget that later today on the calendar, we do have Powell testifying before Congress. That's supposed to start at 10 a.m. with his testimony and then the subsequent questions. We very likely will see a market reaction to that. So, be aware if you're in a trade at 10 a.m. or looking at a trade, know that the market may start to do weird, unexpected things, depending on that testimony and, of course, the questions that are asked and answered. So the big number, the CPI number, came out earlier this morning. We already talked about that. Came out slightly over forecast. And then later today, again, the only other thing we're watching here is his testimony. There are a couple of Fed speakers, by the way, but they pale in comparison to Powell's testimony. So keep that in mind if you're trading today. Jared is asking a good question. How long will the testimony last? No way to say, right? It really depends on the questions and how much Congress wants to keep him on the hot seat. Normally the questions go for about an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, with most of the action, the market action anyways, usually happening about 20 minutes after it starts, assuming it starts on time, to the end of the first hour. That's my experience, is that's because that's when you get some of the key questions and those that have jockeyed themselves to the front of the line because they want to capture the cameras right before the media loses interest. So yeah, keep in mind. So I would expect, start watching at 10, be very vigilant until at least 11:30 noon, because we could get reactions up until that time. All right, so there you go, guys. If you want to join us here at Bearable Traders, we trade live in our chat room with member comments and questions and feedback and jokes and camaraderie and all that stuff that happens here, and love happens. So, because we're celebrating our Valentine's Day special, happening this Friday, by the way. For any of you in a relationship, Friday, Valentine's Day. If you haven't done anything yet, you're probably too late. So do something very fancy at home, because you're not getting a restaurant reservation at this point. And if you are, I guarantee you're paying through the nose. Valentine's Day is the same as like a wedding, right? You go to book a hall and you say I'm having a private event. It's one price. You say you're having a wedding, it's that price times 2.5. Valentine's Day is the exact same way. Any restaurant where you could normally go and get a $15 or $20 appetite or meal, I guarantee you it's $40 Friday night, no question.
It is so crazy, so crazy. In
any event. But we go the other way. Why? Because we love you guys, and we're giving you a discount. So if you want to join here at Bearable Traders, you can use the intro offer. You want to kick the tires. But if you want to join, the Elite Annual is a great deal, and you can use the code LOVE55, which will give you a 55% discount off that Elite Annual price. So check it out. You're going to need that money, again, to pay for that Valentine's Day dinner.
Absolutely. All right, friends, let's get to it. So yeah, if you haven't got any gift, you want to move on that as quick as possible. Amazon 2-day Prime there, if you can get it going. All right, let's see here. On my list, friends, we have Upstart, we have SMCI, Intel, Tesla, and Nvidia. Secondary list, Baba, Lyft, and Oklo. So let's focus on the main list first here. We'll start with our good buddy Upstart, which again just crushed their earnings. Let's do some levels for it and get ready. As far as the pre-market action, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback from the previous high of the pre-market, 86.62, and then the low of the pre-market, 80.10. So we'll slam two levels there. And if we look to the left here on the bigger picture on the daily, we do have an area right on here, 77. 18. It seems to be a lot of touches going on there, so you definitely want to have that down. And then once you go below that, you do have your highs and lows for the last two trading a day, so that's looking good there. And then right up here, we do have 80.96 towards the top, and I believe we've been higher. Let's just in case, let's take a look here on the monthly, because we got to go really way back. I mean, we haven't been up here. We passed this peak, so this was back in June 2023, and we're all the way down to 2022, 2021. So I'm just going to pick off where I see an area of a lot of touches. We'll do the monthly on this, 107.73, just to have something. If you want to get something more fine-tuned, look at the weekly around this area, and you're going to find even tighter levels. I'm just going to have 108.50 here in case things really go out of control. But again, that's pretty far off from the picture at the moment. Actually, it's a better one here. This one right here with a couple of touches, 94.33. That's more like it, right? 94.33 is much, much better. All right, but yeah, let's see how this plays out, man. It's giving a lot of it back right now, so maybe some profit taking, market not helping it at the moment, but I think it'll be a great trader. This one is one of my favorites today. Let's take a look at the next one. Is going to be SMCI, so right over here. SMCI also with, again, the earnings reaction has been pretty strange. We went down, we're now up, back down again. So this day looking a little funky here. But I think we'll get the volume as we have right now. 16 million shares traded on a $40 stock. That is tons of volume. 44.54 is the high of the pre-market. 40.52 is the low. And then towards the bottom, we do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Above the pre-market high, we do have 45.91, and then we also have 47.95. So that's excellent there. All right, and then the next one on here is going to be Intel. We mentioned Intel having some news here, which is healthy for them, right? Preventing AI chips from other countries and all that good stuff. So built here in the U.S. This helps them because, man, it's just been, they have to figure something out. 22.40 is the high of the pre-market, and the low of the pre-market is pretty much slamming into the previous day close from yesterday. So you don't really have to do much there. That's taken care of there for you. If you look at the bigger picture, let's get some levels towards the top in case we do get going. Again, we're hoping this is going to trade well, but this could just flop. I mean, it's been so bad to day trade. 23.18 is a good level up here. And then towards the bottom, in case we do collapse, it's going to be 21.44 towards the bottom there. All right, next is going to be our good buddy Tesla. So here we go, Tesla sparking up some politics talk here in the channel. And again, guys, me and Peter, we're neutral. We don't care. We're gonna make fun of Democrats and Republicans. We want to show love to everyone. We don't care who you voted for. We're gonna make fun of you either way, right? So just join us in the fun, in the fun and cheerfulness that we bring here. No side, no left or right on this situation. All right, here's Tesla with the stickers. On the upside of things, 337.16. We're going to slam one there. That is the high of the pre-market. The low of the pre-market is 320.07, so that is good. Towards the top, you do have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, so plenty of levels here. And again, guys, I know some people are long in this thing and they're bag holding, and I get it. You know, they thought there was value here, and it just keeps on dropping. We had some person, which again, shout out to him for sharing it with us on YouTube. He's down 30% and, is looking to see what to do. It's not easy to share when you're down that much. So hopefully, this thing bounces for you here. But man, this stock is not looking healthy. So just be mindful if you're thinking to get in here long as a value. Towards the bottom, 310.85. So we'll mark that there, and we pretty much cover all the levels we need on Tesla. Again, great trading stock, 9.4 million shares traded. I don't remember the last time we saw Tesla with so much volume. Again, we're getting at a level of support. This could be some hope for the bulls right here. This is a big level of support. If you look at the daily here, let me get that for you. Here it is. Big level of support. No, that's not the daily. Here we go. Big level of support right here at the previous day close. Can this hold? That's when we went on this crazy run. We'll have to wait and see. All right, one more here. Last but not least is going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA just had had an aggressive reaction, I guess, with the CPI data, Peter, plus the news of this possible chip situation. That's not great for NVIDIA because they probably do a lot of stuff overseas here. But yeah, they're down 1.8 right now. 1 million shares traded as far as that goes. So let's see how they trade. Low of the pre-market 129.61. Towards the top, we're looking at 133.79. Highs and lows for the last 2 trading days here, doing a pretty good job as far as the levels go. And again, we're just kind of stuck in this last 2 days, have created this range between, we'll call it 133.78 to around 130. We've just been kind of stuck here, right? So let's see which way we break out. We're testing the bottom of that range here. But Tesla looking good. Also great volume, 9.1 million shares traded. We've seen more than that out of Tesla, but I like what I'm seeing today here on it as well. And there's so much more, guys. We didn't look at Baba. We didn't look at Oklo. There's so many stocks that we can possibly look at today. But this is the list I like so far. With that, Peter, let's take us to what our moderators are watching this morning.
Yeah. All right. So our moderators have their lists in, and they are watching. I'll start with Pierre at the top. He's watching Tesla, NVIDIA, SMCI, and UPST. Lenny's watching Tesla, Micron, Intel, SMCI, Lyft, VRT, and Baba. So picking a whole lot off of the Gappers list this morning and earnings plays. Thor's going to be watching Tesla, Apple, NVIDIA, and Disney, not one that we talked about. Eamon says he's looking at a tough day, right? Not a lot that's setting up for him, so he doesn't have a list. He'll be watching the scanners, as is Mike. In addition to the scanners, Mike's going to be looking at Apple and NVIDIA. Avi's gonna be. Avi's gonna be. I noticed he renamed himself. He's now Avenacci. That's sort of an inside joke. If you're in the room, I think it was Monday. We were having a talk, and somebody coined that. I think it's perfect. He's now Avenacci. I like it. Anyways, watching as usual, Magnificent Seven and AMD. Brian's going to be watching Tesla, Nvidia, Upstart, SMCI, AMD, and the SPY. Phil's going to be watching Nvidia, Microsoft, PLTR, Lyft, and Mara. For myself, I'm sticking with the usual, and I'm going to be watching too much, but I've got Intel, Upstart, CVS, and SMCI on my list. We'll see which of those move. And last but not least, Paris in with his list. Back in the saddle. Going to be watching SMCI, Upstart, Tesla, Nvidia, and PLTR. So you can see a lot of commonality in that list. Nvidia looks interesting. We'll have to see when the big money comes in, whether they continue to think that this is, sort of a bad day for Nvidia. If you've watched Nvidia at the open, know that it has a remarkable resilience. So be careful. This thing could go either way. But yeah, definitely I'll be keeping an eye on it, as well as a bunch of other stuff. So good luck, whatever you choose. Trade smart. We're going to get our live traders queued up. Get them all ready in the saddle, fighting form. I see we've got, speaking of fighting form, look, we got Thor, and he's absolutely in fighting form because he's wearing his kickboxing shirt. So he's ready to go, baby.
Yes, he is.
There you go. Good morning, Thor, and good morning, Brian. I see you both are out there. How you both doing this morning?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Peter and Carlos.
Good morning, guys. Good morning.
How's everyone doing?
Doing real well.
Can't hear you, Thor.
You can't hear me?
No.
Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you.
No, we can hear you now.
We got you.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm
right,
actually
guys,
having
we'll
a pretty
let you...
good morning. So we'll go for it, Carlos.
No, we'll let you guys to it, man.
No
Looking
doubt.
forward to the live trading, and we'll see how these stocks play out. And yeah, man, have a safe trading day over on YouTube. I'll be back with Avi at 11. So stick around for that, and have a great trading day, guys.
Right on. Great day, bud.
All right. So it looks like NVIDIA's...
I started off with a party today, Brian. I did a webinar last night on the R3 to S3 Traverse, and I just happened to have a short sitting near R3 in the pre-market this morning on the ES. And we've already went from R3 all the way to S4 today. So already started off with a little pre-market fun. Now I'm looking to see if we can get a little rebound on the market and see if we can do it a little bit more. So it should be a pretty fun time. How's everyone out there? And how are you doing, buddy? How was your evening?
That was good. I woke up this morning. I saw, turned on CNBC, saw the data, and just turned it on just after the CPI data got released and the market reaction. And I thought, I know my buddy Thor's already made money today. It's the first thing I thought of.
That's a good one. I like those
Hang
CPI news events. I play those quite a bit. So that's always a good time. Let me get my screen up in the chat room here. So anyway, so that starts the day off with a little bit of the pressure off since, so now we can kind of just relax back. So some equity tickers that I'm really interested in today, most specifically, if the market decides to sell Nvidia and Tesla, both in really opportune locations for a sell, I would be looking for Nvidia pullback to like around 131-ish. On Tesla, I'd be looking for a pullback to somewhere around like 334. If the market decides to bounce, or also another one could for a good short would be an S4 breakdown on Microsoft. That's around 409 for that look. If the market decides it wants to rebound and bounce, number one ticker for me is Apple. Apple in a higher range, sitting in a buying range on both the on the daily and on the intradaily. So buy there just right around 230. So keep an eye on things and see how it goes.
Yeah. Tesla's really we mentioned this yesterday. Tesla could be so sold off that maybe it's due for a little bit of a bounce here. And right now it's one of the few stocks in the green. So
yeah, for sure.
Actually, Upstart is catching a bit of a bid here right now.
Tesla's institutional market structure for me, we're going to open here in a second, actually, 15 seconds. Tesla's institutional structure for me is actually bearish overall. Like Tesla looks like over the next couple of weeks, it's going to sell down to 300. So I'm actually going to look for
I
this thing
think
to
so.
squeeze back up to 335 and see if it
I'm
but
looking
the
at more
market very oversold. So we'll see what happens.
kind of. I'm thinking Upstart's gonna pull back here and then maybe pop.
A lot of volume coming in right now. I'm going to watch. Let me pop over to.
Okay, I'm long some Upstart. Here we go.
A lot of volume.
Sell some through 82. Here we go. Just I don't like the spread on it. Here we go. We get to 83. There we go. 83 on Upstart. Taking
Nice.
some more off there.
Good work, man.
Quick. Yeah. Bingo, bango, bongo. Let's just see where we go right now.
I'm watching to see if NVIDIA finds a buyer here since it's so overextended at S6. If it doesn't,
it's
I'd get
really
long.
extended. All right, here we go. Upstart, baby. 85. Yes, 85. Selling some here.
All right, I grabbed a little long on NVIDIA off of a minute ago or a second ago at the low of this candle.
Whole lot of orders on Upstart to the upside. Upstart, upside.
I need the market to find a buyer.
Ooh, Jared's going long on Tesla.
I'm just looking to capture this move back to S4. All right, they're buying premium. Let's see how we do as we buy premium here. Yeah, that's nice. All right, hopefully this will close as a fairly strong candle. If this stuffs, I'm not going to be very excited. Yeah, I'm not very excited about that. Oh well, we'll hang on. Like I said, I already have a really nice winner this morning, so I'm just kind of hanging now, seeing if I can make a little bit extra money. So, but I like this setup. I like how overextended we were, and we definitely were finding a buyer there. So I'm pretty happy about this one. If a seller hits and drives back through, we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm going to hang on to this, and I'm just basically going for 131. That'll be a 4R target for me. Order book just picked up some top side orders, so nice.
Yeah, we just got some nice move, bounce on the SPY and the Qs there.
A little bit of a bounce there for sure. That's helpful.
Still hanging with UPST. Anybody catch that? I described what I was going to do there. Nice guys. Kind of figured Upstart's been pretty strong this morning, so that pop was just some people taking some profits that drop. Still think there could be more upside here.
Here we go.
NVIDIA's looking like it's going to break out here.
Boom. Got that. I had a little long going. I grabbed on NQ off of this bottom here. So I went ahead and got that. So, all right. Come on. Let's go NVIDIA. Come on. So this is kind of that pullback we're looking for.
Let's keep pushing here. Keep pushing up. Nice move on NVIDIA too.
Yeah, I'm almost a target. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Filled, baby. Filled. Nice. Very nice.
Wow, beauty. Yeah, I'm just going to take some off here.
That is
A
what we
little
were
late
looking
trade,
for. S6 rebound there. Very beautiful. Right back to S4. I'm out at S4. That's exactly what we're looking for. Yes. Beautiful.
took a little more off there on UPST. At 86.50. See where still got a lot of orders to the upside. I'm looking at we possibly get to 90 here. It's going to depend on what the market does. Yeah, nice grab on that Nvidia trade. Beauty. I got into that really late. Just when it got through the VWAP there
Yeah, that
and
was really, I'm
took
really happy
profits.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my trade. So I already got I actually got a pre-market short on ES, and then I got a long on ES just now as well. Both of those filled, and now I've hit a full target on this one. So I'm having a very nice early morning. So that's probably going to be the majority of my trading, or if I think I'm going to be done on that actually. So if so, I'm here for y'all. Whatever y'all need, I'll just help y'all look at some stuff, and I'll run Copilot here. But so far, really lovely bounce we have going on here. Look at this order cluster on Nvidia starting at like 131.80.
Careful on the
Fun.
SPY and the Qs. We've kind of done a bit of a nine. We're at the 20 EMA on both of them. So might get a bit of a pullback. Look at that. Look at Tesla bounce. I knew it. I knew it would go up
Tesla
today.
is a monster. Tesla is a monster for that, man. It just does it all the time.
Yeah.
So ES, for those who can see my screen, you'll notice where ES bounced from. So even with all of this crazy news and everything, our downside ATR put our low of day around 60.19, right? And look, our low of day is 60.20.50. I mean, actually it was 60.19.90. So you're talking about within 2 ticks, we our calculated ATR low held for this bounce. So that was one of the reasons I went long there, because we're at this floor level and at ATR low. But you can see even for the NQ or the Qs, I mean, we weren't quite there on the Qs, but we were getting pretty close to our ATR low. So it kind of seemed like the right spot to look for some bounces.
Here we go. UPST through 87. Just leak a little more off here.
So Tesla did a squeeze right back up to the low end. Be interesting to see if we get a seller here on it. I think Tesla actually institutionally looks fairly weak. But on the short term, the book's a little bullish right now. But if we find a seller here, I wouldn't be surprised to see this drive lower. I think Tesla's lost some of its meme status, Brian. I think.
I guess.
I think it's. I think it's going the way of Ford. No, I'm kidding.
All right, I'm still watching UPST. Like I said, my last little bit here, just saving some for 90.
I'll be right back. I gotta grab something real quick. I need a fresh drink. 2 seconds. I'm parched.
NVIDIA is some question about NVIDIA. It's had a nice bounce. I mean, the entry was that S6 test. The low, the low of the, we violated the low of the pre-market. And then, again, we talked about this yesterday, how if you make a new low and then snap right back up, that's always a really good indication that that there's a reversal in the works, and that's exactly what happened. That's where Thor got into this trade. It's pretty extended right now. I'm not saying it won't go higher, but I don't know. On let's see, on a larger time frame, that's pretty messy. This 131.50 seems to be an area that there's some resistance. Look at that, UPST to 88 now. Guys in YouTube land, you get UPST with me. Kind of, I had mentioned that in the pre-market.
Yeah, that was
I'm
a
not sure if
great
anybody else
call.
looked at it.
Yeah, we got some
Nice,
people
we got
here
a
that
few
got it.
people. Yeah, we got some people. And Tesla, nice. Okay, good deal. I'm telling him,
So
saying 90
if you
bucks.
made
I'm
a little
90
money
of-
thanks to the profit, don't forget to throw him a little like. Remember, likes for Brian.
Yeah. UPST has been a good one this morning.
So we're going to get to an area
Tesla.
on the NQ here in a minute I'm really interested in, Brian. It's around, it's maybe about a little higher in here, but not much. So like for those who are looking at like the Qs, for instance, this would be somewhere up around, for you is going to be around 525 on the Qs. I really want to see what happens at 525. When we had that big sell that happened, right? If you kind of go here and look at that sell, as we look back in our retracements off of that, our S4 area here comes right on the bottom half of that. So I'm really trying to see what's going to happen if we pull back to here, if we find a seller, because, you know, I want to acknowledge that when that news event came out, when our CPI came out, the market's initial response was an incredibly hard sell. So it is not always wise to just assume the market is going to bounce just because it moved down, right? It moved down for a very significant reason and then consolidated for a long while. And as we pull back up right now, our volume's actually kind of dropping a titch. So we may just actually be doing a pullback right now, offering value to anyone who missed that big move earlier today. So keep an eye on being long. This could be a nice long. We could actually run all the way to 529, but we could just come and reoffer it as 4 and then sell back down. So I got to keep an eye on it. So in the meantime, 2 seconds while we're waiting for that. Anybody want to see BBT's
Tesla's
new official mascot?
Okay. Got a mascot?
Likes for puppies.
Is it? Oh, there you go. Look at that. Is that? Oh, that's a new puppy, eh?
Yeah, got my
Nice.
boyo a little puppy action.
Got your puppy on? All right.
It'll probably whine when I put it
I
down.
think
So my son wanted to name it Leo. I tried to talk him into naming it Bear. Because I want, like Bear Bull Traders, you know what I mean? So I wanted to call him Bear.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Lonesome
it's a
Tesla.
miniature golden doodle. So
Lonesome Tesla.
yeah, he is a Messi
just for
fan.
this
He's a
pop.
Messi fan.
He's a Messi fan.
but he thought it looked like a lion, so he wanted to name it Leo. All right, let's see if we hunt out that seller now on the QQQs. This is that S4 spot I was talking about. So look how we're starting to find red dots. Look how we're finding a seller. That's kind of what I'm looking for here, to see, like, if we find a seller, if that seller starts dropping the price, right, then, you know, maybe we'll have a fun opportunity here. That's awesome. Oscar the Grouch over in YouTube says the son named their dog Brontosaurus, and it's a 5-pound dog. It's like a Chihuahua named Brontosaurus. Oh, Toro would have been a good name. All right, check it out. Look how we found the seller here at S4, and look how the dots came in, right? So this is that moment of truth for us. If we start seeing more large orders coming into the downside and the market structure starts to shift, because one thing I'm noticing on the Qs too, to the top side, order book seeming pretty lean. So let's see what happens here. They're probably gonna try and grab some supply side here, and let's see if they engulf and then hold, or if they get shoved out when they pushed back up here through S4. There we go. It's pushing up. It found the sellers, but they absorbed it, and then the buyer bought and they pushed. That was pretty just disingenuous, though. The volume was pretty low.
Go to Tesla. Took a small long position there. I don't like it. I don't really like it. Looking a little toppy here. Actually, I might even consider shorting it now. Shorting it. Short Tesla. There we go.
Yeah, that looks
Wow. Okay,
pretty
nice
good.
move. Nice move.
I like that short, Brian.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Yes.
Brian,
Thank
orders.
you, baby.
Lots of bids just came in right after you got in.
Yeah.
How many shares
Yeah,
did you take? No, I'm kidding. Is that
I
you?
just yeah. Just
Right
nailed it
after
to
you
the
got in, I
downside.
saw a bunch of bids come out. That was really
Yeah.
nice. There's more bid. You have bid now coming out strong at like 333.70 something. Keeps flashing on the L2. Let me pull it up on Bookmap.
So
You can watch Brian's Tesla short.
my usual style, I usually like to trade options with Tesla, and yeah, so I got in 750, and now they're trading at 845.
So someone was asking what I
850.
meant by institutionally bearish. What I mean is, so we have different types of participants in the market, right? It's basically 3 major classifications: what we call an initiative participant, a responsive participant, and then a large time frame or an institutional participant. And technically, institutional participants also break down into initiative and responsive. So when I zoom out here on the order book, what I can see, if you're noticing my order book to the downside, notice how the structure and the laddering down to 300 see how dense it is. We have large institutional orders all the way down, every $5 all the way down, and then we have a ladder of smaller orders hitting all the quarter increments all the way down, right? So this thing looks like it wants to sell, right?
I'm selling
but
my
up here
puts.
it's
I'm
void
selling
and
my puts
empty.
on Tesla.
Nice.
I'm selling my puts on Tesla. Just letting people know.
Good little drop you got there.
Here. Yeah, I got a nice $1 move on those options, more than $1. Now we're going to bounce here.
Yeah, you can see this on level 2 in DOS. What I recommend is using the order highlight feature. So kind of look for what's like kind of like prevalent size. Like if you're seeing lots of like repetitive 10s or lots of repetitive 20s, pick a number above that for the ticker. And this will highlight the larger orders and then trade towards the size. What's up, Ali? Looks like the CPI was our major news for the day.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Tesla bounced right back. See? I knew it.
Can't keep a good Tesla down, except for in a minute.
Yeah.
Just
And it may,
Just a
well,
reminder,
who knows
gentlemen,
where
that
we're
Powell
going right now.
testifies before Congress starting at 10 a.m.
Ooh. Testify.
Testify.
Powell's going to testify.
Yeah, they're going to be jumping all over them with that CPI print. 0.5% month over month. Whew. It's those egg prices.
Those egg prices, man.
Man, they are killing
Gosh.
everybody. It's almost like $1 an egg in California.
No, so Alton was asking, are the mods mainly trading options? No, actually. We have a
No,
very diverse set of assets we trade. I'm actually trading futures quite frequently, but I trade futures and equities, and options are a little over my head sometimes, I'll be honest with you. Brian invented options. So, obviously that's what
Yeah.
happens with those. I mean, not directly, like he didn't, but yeah, maybe. But Jared trades options. Megan uses options and equities. Andrew
Yeah,
trades
actually,
primarily equities, but he does do the
yeah.
option when he gets the feels.
Actually, Megan used to trade options more, and she's sort of flipped. She's more of an equities trader. Like with UPST, I traded stock just the stock. You have to be careful with the options because you want to be trading options that are liquid. I'm going to say I haven't even looked, but the UPSC options I'm thinking aren't quite as liquid, which means you get a wider spread. So, if you get into a position, you might end up paying a premium if you hit the market order. And if you really need to get out of that position, you're going to take a hit to the downside. So you have to be trading options that are liquid, like Nvidia, Tesla, um, and the SPX is another option trade I like. But no, it doesn't. You don't have to trade options, and even if if I'm trading Tesla options, doesn't stop you from trading Tesla stock. It's just more capital efficient.
Exactly. You can get it. You can get a little bit more market exposure that way,
Yeah,
without quite as much leverage, which is very, very
exactly.
nice. Especially if you're trying to, Brian's so good at picking. He's specifically, one of the things you have to remember, like he was saying, is the ticker you're going after. Not, you don't want to go the options routes. There's a lot of tickers out there you wouldn't want to do that on, because like Brian said, if the spreads are bad, especially, it might not be a great vehicle, or if the ticker's moving too slowly, right, and you end up like dealing with decay and stuff like that. Those are all things. But if you want to learn more about it, our guy Brian may or may not have written a book or two about some slightly related
Yeah,
material. So if you really want to dive into the options, sales pitch for the day. If you really want to dive into options, and even if you're not going to trade options, understanding how the options market works and how that impacts the overall market is super helpful. You know what I mean? Most of us, you'll find, don't have just like the overwhelming talent just to sit down and just start firing trades and make money. There are some, but it's an elite 0.5% of traders who come in here have that quick response time necessary to be able to do that. I'm certainly not one of those. But there's another route you can go, which is, learning and becoming a mechanic and really understanding what makes the market move. And Brian's material will get you there a lot faster than most. So highly recommended.
So yeah, and really at the end of the day, when you're trading options, you're still if I'm trading Tesla options, I'm still trading the stock, because the options just are really just a function of where the stock price is going. So
So
yeah,
I'll
there's
field this
my
next
book,
question. It's a really
How to
important one.
Trade Options.
Hassan wants to know how old we are, Brian. So I'm 43, and Brian's immortal. I've told you
I'm
guys this
immortal,
before.
I
Brian
am
actually is, you may not know this, but he actually goes back prehistory. He's immortal. He was there when the pyramids were built.
Yeah.
If you really kind of go back through and just kind of look out all of history, Brian was there. There's this painting in the Louvre of the Ark, and in the background you actually see Brian's hair flowing, and you're just like, man, how did
I'm a
that even
vampire.
happen? It's just kind of wild. But it's just there's kind of just throughout history. He's just been there. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, that would be we kind of aspired to be a vampire at one point. That would be good.
No,
Fly
his hair was
around, turn into a
longer.
bat.
His hair was longer then. They were asking if your hair was shorter. No, it was longer. It was actually like waist length. I mean, it was
Oh
incredible.
yeah, it was very long.
In the wind, just
Peter's,
flowing.
I'm sure Peter's going to pick out, post that picture that people like to throw out there once in a while, from my porn star days.
Exactly. See, and that's how you derail a perfectly good YouTube. You're welcome, people. Tesla
With the
selling again.
With the campy mustache.
Oh, he's a Highlander. Steve, that's a good point. There can be only one. Yeah, Jam's got a good point. To keep on hair while trading is not easy. Take it from me and Jared. Whew. I mean, when I started trading, my hair looked just like Brian's. And now, gone.
And now.
Melanie in the YouTube went short Google. I'm interested.
Okay.
Let's see what you're getting yourself into.
Let's see. So we almost got to 90 on the Upstart.
I mean, it was a really weak pullback on Google up into 185. Nice spot. I can see why you got interested in it short there, especially when it tried to push and make new highs and it had that really nice upside down hammer. So you do have orders on Google, 184, 183.50, 183. So your downside looks good. Just a little warning, just in case, 185, let's call it 40, has a giant order there. So if for some reason we get a large amount of buying, so the encouraging part is when you tried to go through 185, there's a very large absorption event when they bought that. So it's hard to imagine they're going to absorb that and then go up and absorb 185 without distributing a little bit. So, but if you get a lot of buying in here, they're going to go for 185.40. That seems to be where they, likely where they're intentioned to go. But right now they don't have the volume for it. So, just kind of keep that in mind. If you see it start aggressively running towards that level, they might be trying to transact it. Yeah.
Right. Well, let's see here. See what we
10
can
o'clock.
see.
Ooh, seller. Nice seller on Google. Sellers, NQ and SPY, SPY and Qs both just found sellers right where we've been looking for sellers. We talked about this pullback to S4 here to look for finding a seller. We did. We just found a seller. Really big sell volume coming in now to the downside. So good short on Google, Melanie. This helps your short very nicely. So you just don't want to see a responsive buyer hit here, but as long as we keep pushing, that's pretty nice. Nice, Melanie. Solid. Good trading. Boom. Right, Jared? Oh my
Tesla's
God.
now kind of breaking down here. Short again. Let's do a little short here. It's not a big size, not a great setup. Ooh, big drop on the Qs and the SPY. Ooh, Powell must have
Testify.
Powell must have adjusted his tie the wrong way or something.
Amazing though how the market just happens to be right exactly where we would expect it to be for it to start selling when this happens. You know what I mean? It's it's just right there, right where we look for it. But yeah, who knows with the
Okay.
right, Jared? Wild, eh? I got a nice swing short going right now on NQ. I'm in from let's see.
Wow. We're
I'm
right
in
at the
2
VWAP.
contracts, and I'm in
Right at the
from
VWAP
Winnebago
on the
here.
SPY.
Yeah. Here we go, selling.
Yeah, look at that drop.
Yeah, I'm short NQ as well.
Damn, that the SPX options would have been great on that move.
Zach, I don't trade crypto directly. I do trade like Bitcoin, like BTC futures every now and again. If that market is particularly moving, or I'll trade like a related equity, right? Like Mara or Coin or what is it? MSTR, I think. One of those
Yeah,
often has a pretty sizable reaction, or you can even hit like what is it, PayPal? Although they've divested a little bit.
There's Coin.
Yeah, Coin.
Okay, this Tesla trade's not going to work, so I'm going to get out of it. SPY's trying to bounce here.
Mm-hmm. That was
Qs are trying
very
to bounce.
strong selling. When we started selling there, that was 1, 2, 3, 4 candles of really nice selling. That was not like a gentle pullback to the 50 moving average by any means. Like that was good stuff. So that's actually, if anything, we were losing volume as we moved back up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see us go back to session low. All right, here comes a little. Yeah, look at that. Look, as they re-offered value above the 50, a seller immediately kept hitting. and we've developed an order void above, so it's making the bounce look a little less likely. Look at that selling.
Are you
Let's see if
looking
we
at the futures?
nom 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 nom. Yep, got NQ up here. We have a really big
Nice.
order set, like 21, like just below us right now. But our ATR low on this is actually all the way at 21,450. So we got downside, plenty of downside left on NQ today, even with the news, the early drop. James, I trade in the pre. I don't trade in the post market very often unless I'm swinging, but I'll trade in the pre market quite a bit off of news events, but only futures. I don't trade equities in the pre market. Yeah, nice, Sophie. Let's get it. 21,500 is definitely doable. That's just below session low. Order book on Nvidia actually looks bearish right now. So the a lot of the tickers within the sector. Yeah, this isn't Powell, by the way. Like, this is just market doing market stuff. This is just how the market moves. The levels, like when you hear Jared and I talking about these levels and stuff, we're talking about like fundamental structural spots. You know what I mean? It's just, there we go. Look at that selling down into 21,600. So, I mean, this is just where we're expecting to see these kind of things happening. And then we're looking for market structure shift, for market structure shift. Right. So you can see here how our order book is putting in orders to the downside even now, more so. But look at that bounce. Doink. Buyer. Oh, sorry. R3 to S3. Thank you, James. It stands for Camarilla pivot points, is the system I use in order to trade. It's kind of like where I figure out where my buying and selling ranges are. So when I'm saying R3, I'm talking about one of my principal levels that I use. All right, we fished out our buyer. And this is going to pull us right back to, we normally, this is a monthly selling level right here. So we fished out our buyer. We got a buy response here. Now, what happens right here? Very, very important. If this pushes up in like a big engulfing, that would be one signal. If it sells really hard right here, that would be something very different. All right, so far, sell. Right, we pulled right back into this level. We offered premium to the sellers, and the sellers accepted and drove it down. So now we'll see if our buyer is willing to buy more. If we go through and make a new low, whoever bought here will likely exit. And that will allow us to flush this bid to the downside quite efficiently. So Animal, and on the YouTube, unless we have a specific thing, you're going to kind of see the broadcast screen that that's being run across in the main chat room. That's kind of the benefit to being in the main chat room versus being in the YouTube. So which we obviously has, it obviously, we want to have a little bit of stuff in here. So we have some really nice deals out there if you want to pop in here and see more. I will share screen occasionally out there, but for the most part, you know what I mean? We keep that part going on in here.
Yeah. So we've got some data tomorrow, PPI, another data set coming up here. It's on the prices, how they're looking on the wholesale level. It's kind of considered to be more of a forward-looking number because wholesale numbers tend to find their way into downstream into the retail side. So we shall see. Got more selling here, Thor.
Yes, sir.
Seem to be kind of stuck here. Bit of a 920 on the Qs. Came back, or the SPY broke through those moving averages, came back up, rejected.
Yeah, looking pretty nice here.
Ooh.
I got a target of 21,512 on this one. So on my NQ short or MNQ short here. So nice, David. Got that S4 short on QQQ. Oh, wow. Look at that entry. Dang. Good job. All right. I see you. Really nice. Very nicely done. All right, we're more selling here on the Qs. All right, let's see how they respond here. Do they buy or do we keep? So remember that big buyer. I said if they have to exit, right, their sells are going to flood into the book here, and we're going to run this downside liquidity that's here.
Right. Just I'm doing the SPX option puts right now. Got a really nice move on that. Flush.
Nice. Good work. Getting that money today. Yesterday was I didn't hit again till after we were done. Today, really nice day in here. I'm up very nicely today.
All right. We're having
Beautiful.
some fun now.
Yeah, man, we're doing real nice today.
Wow, NVIDIA just rolled over big time. That 132 level S3 that proved to be the
Oh yeah,
level
look,
where
that
it was
makes
going to find
sense.
resistance.
So if you
Look
look at where we sold on NVIDIA, Brian, when we had that big gap down, right, in the
Yeah,
pre-market at 830, it pulled back. That high that it made when it reoffered was 132.14.
yeah,
Bring that
yeah,
straight across. We wicked right into that spot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 times, just offering.
yeah,
It was just really, that's one of those hindsight, just super obvious offerings. Could
yeah.
have very easily gotten into that.
This is the kind of this is Peter has a trade called the Mountain Pass, really, or you could just call it a double top. But yeah, it just kind of topped along there for a while, pulled back, tried to reassault that 132 level, and didn't quite even get there that second top.
Melanie, you still got that Google short rocking? What's your target on that? Out in the YouTube. It's looking pretty good. You got a big order at 183 that's attracting the price right now. Groovy.
right. Well, this has been
Hey,
a good
Brian,
morning.
can you, Teddy is asking, um, do you only trade in the money options when day trading or also out of the money? If out of the money, then is it always the strike that is closest to the current price?
Yeah, when you're trading options, I mean, my sort of rule is I try to stick close to the current price. So I try to pick a strike price that's very, very close. Um, like when I was trading the SPX there, um, I was trading at around 660.25. And that was very close to the strike. And when I do Tesla options, I think I was doing the 335s, 337.50s maybe. But yeah, generally speaking, you don't want to go too far out of the money because you're not going to get the move um, that's reflected in the stock price if you go too far out of the money. Oh, so we're getting a bit of a bounce here back.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this
Yeah,
bounce.
we found a buyer right off of that,
Yeah.
20, it's like 21 or NQ and Q, it's S6 basically. So we're ping-ponging basically between a large buyer and a large seller in the low end of this range on the market.
Here goes Tesla. Tesla has some orders up at 338, 340. I don't know if it's going to go there. This is kind of
It
where did
could.
we find a top here?
Tesla's ATR high
Three.
is exactly is at like 339.50. So it could certainly
Okay.
fill its ATR, run up and wick that, then sell.
Yeah. It does. Its high has been 338. So, I mean, it looks like we're gravitating to these large orders right now. They're kind of hanging out there. They're unfilled. So, um, good chance they may fill them right now. Or at the very least, to try to get to the 338s. Thor, do you ever break your trading rules? Howie says he
Very
never does.
rarely. Very rarely. I can't say never because I am a human being and I do not want to say I don't. But generically, I have reasons for what, like, for instance, like I never move to break even or go out without hitting a target. That is not obviously true right before major news event releases or before the close of the market, right? So those are instances in which I'm breaking a rule, but I got a rule for that. Right. So the main thing is, if you're going to ask me, do I make trades based upon emotional decisions? And that answer is absolutely not. I trade based upon the system that I have at all times. And I really don't, if I'm going out of it, if I'm going out of a position, it's only because I'm quite convinced that I've got a reasonable, excuse. But it's not because I'm like worried about like my
Yeah,
my
and
money.
I liked your comment about being human because I have similar. I mean, I don't have the same rules you do because I trade a little differently, but I have rules, and I have rules for swing trading, and I gave you if you watch my swing trade videos on the weekend, you see I broke a cardinal rule I have don't swing trade stuff through earnings, and I broke that rule with a trade I did probably 2 months ago now. TD paid for it because it dropped, so I was banging my head on the wall. And why did I break my rule? But eventually it did come back up, and then I just kind of figured, okay, well, I'm going to be in this maybe for the long term, and I actually added a bit. So, but yeah, I mean, we're human, and we do you make emotional decisions sometimes that we look back and think, why did I do that? Look at that. We're right back to high of day on the SPY.
Right back up.
Yeah, the SPX trades are 0 DTE, and if you're asking about the duration of the option, if I'm trading Tesla options, obviously I'm sticking to this, in this case, the February 14th, which is the closest option expiry date, because you don't get 0 DTEs on some of these large stocks like Tesla, Nvidia, unless you're trading them on a Friday. So, but you want to stay as close as possible to your expiry date, because again, that's where you're going to get the most move on the option. And it's all covered in my book, How to Trade Options. So it looks like the SPY, we're going to break out here.
It's gonna try. This is a moment of truth here for sure.
Yeah.
I just don't know. It just doesn't feel like we have that much topside in most of these tickers. I don't know how we do a breakout with this little topside in so many tickers, but I'm constantly surprised by the market's ability to do wild and crazy things.
Yeah, we chatted a bit about VWAP configuration and should you use pre-market and post-market, and generally speaking, I in my calculation of VWAP, I do include the after hours, and I think Thor, you do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting a
Absolutely
rally here. Here we go. See, there's 338. I knew they were going to eat through that order on Tesla.
All right, let's see what happens. Our ATR high on Tesla should only be 340 or 338, or like 339.70
there is another order
or
here.
something.
There's another order
go
here,
much
340.
higher, we will see what it does. So this is going to create this is going to create a pretty good area to watch. So we just had a really big buy, and that closes an engulfing. So now we want to see, as they pull back, do we stay and hold this candle about halfway through, or does it sell all the way back down to its bid? If it sells all the way back down on this candle back to its bid, and it doesn't hold call it the 50% line, that's what we call the consequent encroachment line. If it doesn't hold that line and it sells through it on this candle, that's going to make this look like we ran into a seller. So which we already know we ran into a seller because we watched it. So, but the question is, now that we've bought through our seller, are we going to keep buying, or is it now time to start distributing, right, back down to a new buyer? So we want to watch the response right now. See, it's holding that 50% level pretty well. So if it holds that and goes back up and breaks a new high, then there's a chance they're going to probably advance a little bit higher than ATR. So if it sells and comes back down under, right, then this is actually will set what we call an isolated pivot, right? If this sells down and breaks down through here and makes an engulfing, we'll get ourselves what's called an isolated pivot here under ATR high, right? So how these candles form and under what volume is very, very important. So here we go. We're now offering premium to buyers to see if the buyers will keep buying. And so far, they are still buying. So as of right now, no reversal in sight on Tesla. Man, I should have bought S6 on NQ. Man, that would have been a really nice little bounce right there.
Look at PLTR. How predictable was that? It should have. And Apple's kind of interesting too here.
I was watching Apple at S3 for a buy. It just was sitting there for such a long time. I just got bored watching it.
Some of these meme stocks, like, wow. And Netflix came ripping back, PLTR. Apple's kind of making a move here. OKLO is heading right back to yesterday's high. It's 54 level. Animal Spirit's still in the market. Look at that. Tesla or Nvidia rejected right at the area where it's been having trouble getting through this 132 level.
Look at that on Tesla. Look at that ATR rejection.
Yeah. Yeah, it just could not take out those 340 orders. That's interesting.
See, right at ATR high. ATR, our calculated ATR high was 339.63, and our high, we went right up. Our session high is now currently at 339.40, like right up to that ATR high, and then found those sellers. Pretty interesting stuff. So now what I want to see here is if we pull back up, I want to see the volume drop as it pulls back up. If the volume drops as we pull back up, then I'll know they're offering to the sellers and the buyers aren't buying. And then so if a seller hits and drives it back down, that's what I'm looking for to get short for a trade back down. I want to see it struggle a little bit to buy. And since I've already seen it sell, that's what I'm after. Hey, Pyrus, you get one, buddy? Oh, yeah, of course you did. Yeah, Tesla, baby. Tesla, baby. Good to see Pyrus back in here.
See if Tesla makes a little bit of a lower high here.
Volume was really weak on this pullback.
Back. Yeah.
It's pretty weak. It needs to get a little higher. It didn't really give me a nice, like we definitely killed this gap. So we're going to come back up now and reoffer. So we'll see what happens. We just had some buyers come in. We need a seller to hit. If a seller hits here, that's what we're looking for. Kind of like that, actually. Buyer was absorbed. Well, good sir. I think it's 10:30, so I think I'm going to go ahead and call it a trading morning. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Maybe keep an eye here on Tesla and see if something happens. But I'm going to go grab a little breakfast, and then I have my 11 to 12 time here in the room. Otherwise, for everyone out in YouTube, so great hanging with you as always. I would request, if you have but a moment, to please reach down with your mouse and touch that little likey button there. We really appreciate the more interaction and the more things we get, the more we can do in this stream and in the room, and the more we can bring to it. So, because kind of the more interaction we get, the more that justifies kind of the attention. So I really appreciate that for y'all. Our fearless leader, Andrew, is still gallivanting across the globe as we speak. I think he comes back in next week, maybe. I'm going to be with the Prophet of Profit tomorrow one more time, and then I actually am on vacation on Friday, so I'm going to have Lenny in here to give you a little support on Friday. So it'll be a pretty good time. So I hope you all have a
Yes,
great one.
sir.
Profit. We made money today. We had one day where we
Yeah,
didn't, but we came back and we did today. So
we gave some good coin here.
for sure. Talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you,
YouTube people,
sir.
much love.
Take care.
BBT, see you in a
Yeah.
little bit. Bye, y'all.
Cheers. Thank you, Thor. Always fun trading with Thor.
Awesome. Thank you, Thor. How you doing, Brian?
Good. I'm good. How are you, Abby? Anything of interest here today for you?
Yeah, I've been unusually active this morning, and I think I'm done for the day now.
Okay.
So it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun, actually. How about
It has
yourself? You
been
get
fun. No, I've been, these markets have been so volatile. It's been great. It's been a great for trading. I'd say, yeah. So
yeah, absolutely. Has been great.
yeah,
Good
it's
stuff.
given some lots of good opportunities. Looks like Tesla's going to try to fill that 340 order.
Nice, nice. Hey guys on YouTube, you're all stuck with that Avinachi thing. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere now. Already we're viral. Oh, here we go. Mixel. Here we got
So it
Mhm.
was kind of interesting. I guess we got, speaking of Andrew, we got he does have his internet connection. He's got apparently this Starlink is working pretty good. So he's got his satellite there. He was trading. I think he traded. Did he trade yesterday? Something he made $6,000 on, like only Andrew can. But I guess they were out hiking on some training mountain, and storm blew in really fast, and they literally almost got hit by lightning. They had to hit the deck. People could feel electricity going through their body. Some of the people around him. It was kind of freaky. I kind of think that's kind of an experience that it would be really cool to have, but maybe not. As long as you survived it, I guess.
Yeah, as long as you survive, yeah, that's the whole point. Oh man, yeah, exciting.
Yeah,
Day trading is not thrilling enough. Huh? You gotta go try and find some lightning somewhere.
yeah, exactly.
Oh
So it looks
man.
like the Qs and the SPY are going to try to make a move here. Maybe going to push higher. I don't know. Still sitting at 60.25 on SPX. I don't know if I want to take another trade on this. $19 for options. I have a feeling
SPX.
it's going to go.
SPX is really wild, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
The
Apples.
Qs are breaking out here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Qs go green on the day. Another one of these buy the dip days.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was interesting. Everything down and then basically bullish so far.
Yeah, I kind of thought that this is exactly what would happen. The pullback, people would rush in to buy.
Mhm. Yep. It's exactly the same conversation I was having just in the pre-market today with my mentees. You know, there's always that idea that things are on discount now and people are going to buy it, especially big companies that are too
Yeah,
big to
yeah.
fail, Mag 7 stuff.
Yes,
So,
especially in the Qs where everybody's still expecting the growth to happen.
yep. Oddly enough, I'm seeing a bit of a double top here on AMD on a 1-minute chart. The entry would have been about 30 seconds ago. Tough one though. Tough one. The risk to reward is not great. But anyways, just happen to see that right now. Cool, cool, cool. There you go. Yeah, YouTubers. So sorry I missed y'all yesterday. I wasn't well at all. And I didn't plan to trade, but I did trade. And it turned out to be a really good day. But yeah, I wasn't well. It was just all stuffy in the nose. So Hope y'all didn't miss me too much. I was listening in on Eamon. He was fantastic. Over the years, I've learned so much from him. It was amazing. Really sharp with all the, all his logic.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to normal today. You did miss me. Yeah, I missed you guys too. Kind of weird sitting quietly and
So
trading. I'm just used to talking to people all the time while trading. And yesterday I was like sitting there sneezing all over the desktop and trading. It's just different
what's
experience.
your what's the weather there today in Dubai?
It's lovely. I was out on the bicycle
Is
today.
it?
It's just
Oh, okay,
perfect.
cool.
When you have beautiful summers in California, it's like that here right now. It's the winter time in Dubai. It's just comfortable and the
Nice,
humidity is comfortable. And at night, it's crispy enough where you can have a fire. It's nice. So,
cool.
yeah. Because you're getting a lot of snow, right? Or was that Carlos in the East Coast?
Yeah, we've had a fair amount of snow here on the even for we always seem to get one snowy one snow event here in Vancouver a year at least, and we've had it, and I've had it. I've had it with the snow. Keep it in the mountains. It's really like to see it. But yeah, it's still it's been cold here.
Mhm.
And I guess they're going to get a fair amount of snow on the you guys there. You people in the U.S. and Canada are going to get a fair amount of snow on the East Coast.
Mm. Well, that's when you want to be up in the mountain. As you said, you get all the ski sports out and
Yeah,
do a little trading there. Better to be there than shoveling driveways and stuff like that. So,
that's right.
yeah. So what's next for you, Brian?
All
Is it
right,
Puerto Rico?
Tesla's eating away at that at 340. I would order around 340.
Yeah, close, very close.
It's,
Oh, nice. Zach and Z, yes, that is a telescope in the background. It's no pro scope or anything. It's basically meant for teenagers, but I use it with my toddlers. They love it. So it's nice. Get out in the desert and you get some clear skies, really clear skies.
I know I've asked you before, but does that plane behind you actually fly?
When I choose to fly it, yes. It's just I've not been out in a while.
Okay.
It does fly. It's great. It's a great little RC plane. It's full 3D aerobatics capable, so you literally can hang it on the prop like a helicopter, really, and do all kinds of stuff with it. The weight and balance is just so
Cool.
well designed, and yeah, I love it. It's so much fun. Can hand launch it too.
Is it what uh, is it electric or is it one of those older gas ones?
Yeah, this one's electric. This is my first electric one. Yeah, it's all electric 3S motor in it. Batteries go for about 4 or 5 minutes, depending on how much throttle I'm using. And yeah, plenty
Okay.
for air. You can keep a few batteries with you and go. And when I was a teenager, I used to build these things out of wood and put the gasoline engines with the radios and all that stuff. Those are different. Those fly very different. There's a lot more momentum in those things. They're bigger, they're more powerful. Man, as a 15-year-old, I used to get high on the exhaust fumes at 6 a.m. Just, just so, oh my goodness. It's just so familiar. Like it felt
Yeah.
great. I would go to the airfield these days. I'm like, I still smell that. It's great. But yeah, this is less maintenance,
Oh,
easier to fly.
yeah, it's funny. Sure. Actually, that was one of my father's big hobbies was building model airplanes from scratch.
Mhm.
He'd even design his own.
Oh, that's the best. Yeah, when you get into designing your own, that's amazing. That's great. He used to do that.
Yeah.
And you were flying for a while. You did some flight training
Well,
stuff.
yeah, I had a commercial license and multi-engine rating with instruments and all the rest of that.
Nice. Very nice. Yep. I still do that for fun sometimes. It's good. Cool, cool. Michelle Hicks want to know, how can I buy your book? Whose book? Brian's book? Brian's book's on Amazon. He's got a couple of books.
So on Amazon,
Hey,
there's
Brian.
my got a couple books there, Swing Trading, if you're interested in that. And if you're interested in checking out my YouTube video on the weekend, you can just search on YouTube for my name. It's a public video on the weekend. Go over the market and also a couple of swing trade ideas that I've been looking at for the coming week. But yeah, my books are on Amazon. How to swing trade, how to trade options, and the other one, profiting as an active trader. So
Awesome.
we did eat through that. Wow, we ate through that 340 order, but now it was met by a bunch of, as Thor likes to say, the buyers were absorbed, and maybe now we did hit an R4 level there on that push too. So
There you go. Nice.
there was a perfect place for to play a rejection. I was more interested in this pop on the SPY and the Qs, so I kind of didn't notice that, unfortunately.
All good. There it is. I missed out on Google looking back. Holy crap. I'm seeing it now. This happened an hour ago. Google was aggressive up front, hit the level, put in that long tail reverse hammer, some room to the left. A new 1 minute low would have been the entry for that reversal. And I'm seeing it now, an hour late. Anyways, such is the market. There you go, guys. Lots of opportunities all day. I still got other trades that were just fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
But, so there's plenty of good stuff here. I'll show you guys. I did the AMD reversal up here at about 9:45. That was the first position I took today and caught this whole move down. Then I took another one on Meta, caught the reversal up here, got the move down to the next level. And then I also got Tesla, shorted it up here somewhere in this area as a double top, and got the partial down there halfway, and that was cut out at break even. So that was a partial trade. Still all three green, so far so good. You gotta love these levels, man.
Yeah, there have been some interesting moves today. SMCI, which was gapping up after their earnings. It's sold right off. It's back down, came right back down here in a few minutes ago, almost got to PDC.
Wow.
OKLO, interesting. It's at yesterday's high. This thing is still ripping.
Was there
Uber managed a big comeback here. Wow. That would have been a nice grab on that pullback on Uber.
SMCI? Holy crap. There's a lot of movement.
Yeah, look at that. Now we've rejected on Tesla. We've got some selling going on. Markets were starting to sell again here.
Yeah.
And I had an alert set on Uber to grab some on a pullback, but I guess it just didn't quite get triggered.
Brian, we got a lady here in the chat who wants to know your full name. How would you like to answer that?
My full name, Brian Pezim, Pezim.
There you go. RGTI. You guys are looking at RGTI as well here in the chat. Wow.
Yeah, Rigetti spaghetti.
Getty. What was the earnings on SMCI? Yeah, RGTI went wild, and I'm curious about SMCI. I guess they had positive earnings because the market reacted favorably, but
yeah, they had good earnings and they had good guidance, but they still don't have. I still don't think they have like their audited numbers. So
fair enough. Oh yeah,
like
that's
their auditors. Yeah, their auditors haven't signed off.
It's all very suspicious, huh? Yeah.
I was kind of, I was talking to an accountant who does some with the company that they do the auditing and for the company I'm on the board with. But they were saying that some of these companies, can be recognizing revenues can be a tricky thing. So I guess in the case of this one, Ernst and Young just wasn't comfortable with the way they were accounting for maybe some revenues or costs. I don't know. Only speculating.
Gosh, you want
Don't
to be
know
careful.
for sure.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, I'm seeing AMD did a reversal. Again, the setup was not ideal. You can see it on the screen there. It went up, put in that reverse hammer. It's got room to the left. But it's got a pretty decent wick on the downside here too, bullish activity. So I would not have taken this reversal. But you can see it's a 90% kind of setup. It's 90% there. It's just one little wick on one little candle that tells me don't trade this. And if you look at not Apple, what is it? Microsoft went up to the level and reversed. But there was no signal here, absolutely nothing for me to go short on this. That's just a big indecision candle, wicks on both sides. So these moves are happening, but if you don't have a trade book for them, don't take them. That's the biggest piece of your trade book.
Yeah.
It's telling 95% of the time it's telling you don't trade, don't touch it, just let it go. And tomorrow I'll be talking a lot about this in the webinar we're having. I'm putting on the webinar at 12:30 Eastern tomorrow, guys, and in Trading Terminal. So half an hour after this session tomorrow, we jump in there. And be sure you come. We're going to get into a lot of this stuff about trade books and how you should find your trade book, what would work for you, and how to personalize it. So get that in your calendar. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, I've always been having a lot of fun with these webinars, so make sure you come. There you go, Michelle. You'll be there. Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, a lot of important information because we have volatility, we have lots of opportunity, but what is the right opportunity for you? How should you be trading? That's the whole point. Otherwise, you just be chasing the market around. Even on opportunistic days like this, you lose money because you're just chasing the market around. So it's the way to look
Wow,
at
look
it.
at Nvidia. What a look at it, how it just kept rejecting that 132 level. Even as we gotten into the day again, couple of assaults on 132 and just failures every time.
It's amazing.
Look at that.
Again,
Yeah, look at that double top. Like you can't get a more perfect double top than that.
yeah, to
But
the pet.
again, it's
Yeah.
we pulled back and we're back at the 9 EMA on the SPY, and we actually bounced off the 20 EMA on the Qs. Interestingly, UPST is starting to sell off now, which is kind of interesting. It's back to really where we broke out from in that the market open.
Yeah, look at that. It's interesting. So bullish and then all the
Uh,
way down.
I did educational video on swing trading. Wasn't great. I don't think it's up now. I really a couple other people have asked about it, and I really need to do a better bunch of swing trade course videos. But right now, I don't believe there's anything up there. As I
What?
said already, there is, my books on Amazon. They're pretty easy to read. I mean, that's the way we've tried to write them. We've written our books basically to try to keep it simple. There's no real big financial jargon. It's all pretty straightforward, and they're available on um, electronic version. So if you're like e-readers or audiobook, if you want to check that out. Some people just like holding a book in their hand. That's cool too. But
I
yeah,
gotta say one.
I'll let you know when. Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta say one of the big catalysts in my trading journey in the last couple of years was when I held Brian's book in my hand, the options book, How to Trade Options. And as you guys know, I only trade options these days. Oh, that was a good one. 16-hour flight
All
from
right,
Vancouver to Dubai. There you go. So yeah,
all right.
definitely go and get it, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, and try to keep it. Options can be a little complicated, but try to write it to try to keep it as just straightforward. No jargon. Just this is what they are. This is some strategies on how to trade them, use them when you're trading. But again, you need to understand price action of stocks before you start trading options, because again, it all gets back to you're still trading the price of the stock. You're not you're using a different vehicle, but financial vehicle, but you're still trading that movement on the stock price, or lack of. Yeah, other option is the other way to look at it.
Mhm. Yep, absolutely. Get good with what you're doing, and then options is basically leveraging
Yeah,
it up.
still need a trade book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this UPST is okay.
Brian,
We did a 920 on the SPY.
Brian, there's a question for you in here
Came down and
from
touched.
Mental Game. How do you separate swing trading and day trading? This person's trying to add day trading with this trading now. So do you separate
Yeah,
it or
I mean that's a good. No,
yeah?
that's a really good question, and I kind of address it in my book. But I mean, I get swing trade ideas from being active in the market every morning. I mean, you uh, can't not see opportunities. Possibly, I mean that's one of the places I do find them. But I try to. One of the things I do is I keep my swing trading. I use a completely different account for swing trading than I do for day trading. And, one of the reasons I mean, I don't, this is another, you want to talk about rules. It's another rule you have is never turn a day trade into a swing trade. There's people, I've heard in the past, and maybe I've done guilty of this in the past, is, you take a day trade, it doesn't work out, and you think, well, now maybe I'll just hold it overnight and it'll fix itself. And generally speaking, 90% of the time, it just gets worse. Um, so that's one reason I keep the two completely separate. And the other reason is, you kind of anyway. Some people, I mean, might want to see how if they're doing both, they might want to see, okay, how am I doing with my day trading account? How am I doing with my swing trading account? If you're mixing the two, you're never going to know how your performance is unless you're doing some detailed journaling. So it just makes it easier to keep the two trading vehicles, sort of the two trading philosophies, if you want to call them that, separate. So,
Yep,
but
fantastic.
yeah, I never will consider looking at a trade and thinking, oh, maybe I'll turn um, this day trade into a swing trade, especially if it's in a losing position.
Absolutely. Very critical advice. We got some
Hmm.
questions here. Rohit B, you want to know about how important is the level 2 and tape reading in my trading? I don't use it, not at all. I've eliminated all that from my charts, from my screens. For me, what you see on the screen is all I've got, just horizontal lines and candlesticks. That's all I'm using. Another question here. I'm on the 1 minute chart now. Yeah, actually, as of yesterday, I've switched over to the 1 minute chart from the 5 minute chart because I'm trying to get tighter entries, capture more of the move, as well as with a tighter entry, you get a tighter stop, you can put on more of a size. So it's not a drastic change to my trading style or to the strategy. Actually, there's no change. I'm looking for the same thing, but instead of the 5 minutes, just a 1 minute chart, which so far has been really good. Yesterday was very positively green, and today is the same. So yeah, that's the only tweak I've made so far. Well, this week I've made that change in my trading. But again, I know it looks different, looks dramatically different, but it's not. I'm still trading the same things, same patterns off of levels, and patterns are the same on any time frame. As far as candlesticks go, same thing. You can see double tops on a weekly chart if you like, or on a 1 minute chart, or anything in between, you know. So there you go.
Yeah,
Is there a comment?
this is the, you know, like I said, I like Abby's very simple approach to just looking at levels, because you can see, I mean, as we've traded throughout the day, how these levels are really respected. And I think it's partly a function of the fact that you know, we have all these algorithms and machines now that are they're looking at all the same thing, and so sort of a bit of a self-fulfilling um, action, right? I mean, everybody's looking, if everyone's looking at the same level, like for example on Nvidia, if everyone's looking at 132, you know, of course, the people that aren't looking at that level are the ones that are buying there. The people that are watching them, like Abby, will be, they'll know this is where, you know, it's make or break.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Yeah. It's interesting. There's a lot of indicators out there, and there's nothing wrong with any of them, but you got to use what makes sense to you. And like Brian was saying, a lot of people are looking at these levels, so self-fulfilling prophecy, all that stuff makes perfect sense.
yeah,
And again, we're gonna dig into this tomorrow in the webinar a lot more about how do you identify your trading personality and then your trading style? How do you build a strategy that is sustainable for you? And therefore, what should you be looking at? It comes from your belief system in the markets, or actually it's your belief on how things work in the market, and then also what your eyes are able to perceive with what you see on the screen with a million different available indicators. But what comes easy to you? Again, I'm gonna dig into all this stuff tomorrow. It's gonna be quite a heavy one. So yeah, show up tomorrow at the webinar, and we'll get into the
good.
more detail on the subject. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about levels being respected as AMD. We've talked about the importance of the prior day close. I mean, this is exactly where AMD double topped, and actually a little bit of a on that second top, a little bit of a Pearson fail. This was a really nice setup, and you know, unfortunately, you know, Campy will looking at everything and kind of missed that one. I know, yeah, if he was talking about it, I should have looked at it, but you know, the second top right at sort of 1038 area, we actually did go green just for probably a brief second, couple of seconds, and then failed. And this again, this would be a great setup for a short trade on AMD from 111 down to where it's trading now around the 9 EMA 2 minute chart. But again, this is just using levels. You don't have to be reading the tape or looking at level 2 or anything like that. You can find these types of setups. These could be your trade book, just trading off PDC.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic, right? And that's actually, Brian, that's exactly how I trade, just levels, and that's it. And if you look at these levels I've got here, you guys will be able to see these are measured moves from today's 8 a.m. candle, and it aligned beautifully with yesterday's close. It was just perfect. I think the alignment was precise. So there you go. You can trust it. You can see again also on AMD how the price action behaved. It was in this range here on my chart. We can see the cursor. And when it broke out of that range, well, it's been in this range, which is identical, as in the distance is identical, which aligns with PDC, yesterday's close, which was what, 111.13 or so. So really interesting. If you want to just use levels, as long as you understand them, as in you believe in them, why they're there, do they make sense? Then you'll be able to put risk on against those levels. And that's important. Because when you put your money at risk, you got to have a belief on it. Because otherwise, you put money at risk on something you're not really sure about. You're going to mismanage the trade. You're going to hold past your stop. You're going to prematurely exit. You're going to do all kinds of weird stuff and mess up your whole trade. And even right here, we got a question here from Rohit in the chat. If the trade goes against me, do I still hold it and convert it into a swing trade? Rohit, if I did that, I'd be broke. So no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
No,
No,
no, no.
never. I mean, if you're doing it properly, you should have a trade book for your day trading. Know when you get in, know when you get out, when you're wrong and you got to get out. If you're not honoring your stop and you're getting to the end of the day and you haven't gotten your target, I would say you have to just reassess, decide. You've got to get out of the trade if it was based on your trade book and your trading plan for day trading.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, absolutely. Have a plan
I
for the
mean,
trade.
yeah. I kind of you have to look at these day trade or swing trades. Like I did an overnight swing trade on Tesla earlier in the week, just shorted it and held it overnight. But again, that was based on, I built a thesis, if you want to call it that, thinking that Tesla's got no news coming out the next little while. It's in a downtrend. All the news that's coming out is just bad news. So I kind of figured it was a good opportunity to hold a short on it.
Mhm. There you go. Thesis for a
But
trade,
again,
guys.
that was
Different.
based on a swing trade plan, not a day trade plan. So the two plans should be completely different. Or not, they don't have to be completely different, but they again, you have to look at it from a slightly different perspective. All right, guys, I am going to grab some breakfast. I hope everyone had a good morning. It's been another really good volatile day. It's given us a number of opportunities to trade some stocks here. UPST, so predictable, drop down, and then bought right back up again. So that was our first trade of the day. Abby, have a good rest of the, or I guess, have a good rest of the evening, as they should say for you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Brian. Enjoy your
And
breakfast.
yeah, yes. And I'm not sure if we're going to do any more. We did an option. We did some after, we did the earnings after hours last night on a few of these stocks. I'm not sure if we've got any more coming up this week. Carlos can let us know, but we do have Reddit, Hood, and Cisco after the close today, and Airbnb and Coin tomorrow. So after the close, and so still got some interesting earnings coming up this week. And Jared did an awesome trade on, I think it was SMCI. Amazing trade on that after it announced earnings. So yeah, he just blew the ball right off the cover right off the ball on that trade. So anyway, I'm sure the members will be in the room. I'll probably be in the room here for after hours here trading, and maybe we'll get another trade off. So take care, everybody. We'll talk to you all soon.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Brian. Always a pleasure.
Okay. See you, Abby.
Yeah. Cool, cool. So,
Hey Abby,
YouTuber.
good evening. Let me switch over to YouTube. So we'll hop off here in chat. Thor's gonna come on in the chat room now for our members. He'll continue there, and we'll continue over on YouTube, and I'll hop on in just a second.
Alrighty. Thanks, Carlos. So, YouTubers, guys, questions here. Aspiring day trader, with today's pre-market news at 8:30, did you base your measured move off of 8 or 8:30? I did not know there was news at 8:30 until you told me right now. So no, I still stick to the same strategy. That hasn't changed. I didn't even know. So I don't get tied up in that sort of stuff. I saw something here. Sony, you're asking if you're trading common shares on big companies, Nvidia and Amazon, do you still hold if it goes against you? No. If it goes against you, don't hold it. Hit your stop, get out of it. That's it. Rules. Day trading rules. That's how you survive. And that's the first thing, right? You've got to survive the learning curve. and then you can thrive. If you keep holding on to losers, well, you're going to be a loser. Simple, right? Hold on to your winners. Let your winners run, but cut those losers quick. And that's a real trick. A lot of people struggle with that. It's normal. It's human emotions, but that's a big one. I put a lot of that information in the course I got out there in Trading Terminal. How do you really cut your losers and let those winners run? Actually, the previous webinar I did was on that too, trade management. So that's a big subject, man. It's a big one. Roz, you want to know about a big head and shoulders on Tesla? I don't see no head and shoulders. I see you may have been able to see that earlier. It was maybe shaping up, but never did complete. So no head and shoulders there. And a question here about the lines on the chart. Yeah, 8 a.m. candle, whatever that distance is, I just use that. So you can see here the 8 a.m. candle on Tesla. High and low, draw the lines, and the same distance, draw lines further up and further down on the chart. That's all I'm doing, guys. Same thing, nothing's really changed. Rajat Thakur, you want to know about what I traded and why today? Okay, let's give you a quick brief on that. AMD pushed up, got to this level, put in this what was it? What was it here? Put in a hammer somewhere, and I got a reversal out of it. Oh no, sorry, it was here. Yeah. Put in this hammer here. I entered the new 1 minute low. The exit was just above, and it went, and I got it off at the target. So that was AMD. Took the reversal one level to the next. Then I got Meta, was another fun one where pushed up, got to the level, put in this big reverse hammer. The new 1 minute low was the entry. The exit was just above that high, or I think above the entry candle, and I caught the move to the next level down. And then Tesla was a double top. I saw top here, another one here, and I got that trade on. Didn't get to where I wanted it to go, and I took it off. Where did I take it off? I think I took it off in this area. Because once it bounced off 333, I knew there were buyers there. And these buyers could well still be there. Turns out they were, but I wasn't sure anymore that it will go to my level just because I'm seeing the buying activity. You can see the previous price action. It was resistance here, then comes down and retests it, turns it into support. That's just a breakout and a retest of the breakout, and off it goes, right? So it could be doing a retest. So I got out of that position just based on paying attention to the other side of the market because I was in a short position. But when you're actively managing a trade, it's important that you're not biased on your position. It's more important to actually pay attention to the other side of the market. So while I was in a short, I was paying attention to the bulls. What are the bulls doing? Where will they start buying this thing up? And sure enough, they showed their hand here at 333, and they got back into that area again. And I realized that they were still really there. I just took the thing off, most of it off, and the rest was out at break even. So this was a partial trade. So three green trades so far today. And yeah, sitting pretty for now. So there you go. That's today's action. Hope that helps. Ash, you want to know as a beginner trader, go with IBKR Lite or IBKR Pro? Well, if you're using IBKR to trade, I can't tell you anything about it because I don't do that. You got to use, well, DOS for trading. That's what most of us use here. IB is the broker. If you're using DOS for trading, you're not using IB to put your orders in, right? It's just a broker where you put your cash and you have your account and all that happens over there. As far as the difference between Lite and Pro, I really don't know. I think I have Pro. I think I've only ever had Pro. So again, I can't tell you. I'm sure there's other people here who would have that answer. But no point in me guessing and just telling you whatever I can come up with in the moment. There we go. See, you got a few people with the answer. Thank you, guys. Yeah, if you're going to take this business seriously, which I recommend you do, you don't want to mess around with it. Get the right tools in your hands. Really get the right tools, and then things will work better. You don't want to be hindered without the right tools, right? It's just, what's the point? So get the right tools, get the right communities, get the right education, get the right mentors. That's what you want to do. Otherwise, you're just gambling, you're messing around, you're kind of, you're not doing it right. All that's important. Can you trade with your RSSP, TFC? I don't even know what those are, man. Rahul, what are these accounts? For paper trading, you don't need an account or sorry, a broker. You just can get DOS and paper trade on DOS. Sim trade, we have the replay mode in Trading Terminal, which is incredibly effective for practicing. So check that out. I use that all the time. I always also direct my mentees to it. It's good. It's great. It's been very useful. So please check that out. There you go. Cool. So yeah. Yeah, I missed you guys yesterday. Listening in on YouTube. I was like, huh, I want to go online, but there was no way I could speak on the microphone yesterday. I was all congested. But it is good to be back. It's so funny. Routine gets broken and you just kind of feel out of place. Anyways, we're having some activity here. All right, let's do this. I asked this to my mentees on most days, and I'll ask it to you guys today. See these levels, right? Measured moves as it goes. Meta went up to it, straight back down to it, up to it, got messy, bounce, off it goes, very close to the next level. Came back, bounce. So do we still have any non-believers in the room about these measured move levels? Raise your hands. All my mentees are believers now. What about you guys? Believers in measured moves. Fibonacci levels, we call them now.
I like the name. I like the Fibonacci levels. It's nice. All right. Good morning, man. How's it going?
All good, Carlos. How you doing today?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. Doing good. What a beautiful day for day trading, man. It's been awesome. So many different moves. You was active today, you mentioned in chat. So you in any trades right now?
No, not now. I think I'm done for the day. I've had 3 solid ones, and you know, that's enough. Don't be too greedy, I guess. But yeah, happy with that result early in the day, done today. A bit unusual, but that's good. We'll take it. What about
Awesome,
you?
man. One and done today, man. So SMCI did not get me today. I didn't trade SMCI, but it didn't take my money today. So I was trying to get paid back, but there were just better opportunities, man. Like on Baba. Baba was my trade of the day today, and I'm still in it. So holding. See if it wants to go any higher. I mean, they got the great news of the Apple deal. I mean, that's huge for them, man. Although they moved up a lot in the daily, since January, right? They were down like around 82, 81, up at 117. So, and I think there's more to go on this, man. If this takes off, it's gonna be nice. Good for both Apple and Baba. So, good power move on their part, on Apple's part, doing this. So.
Very interesting on Baba. Yeah, it's at that daily resistance now at about 118 or so, previous massive resistance. So yeah, this breakout through 118, through 120, that's when it's on its way for the year.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice catch.
Yeah, man.
Baba.
Yep.
Love it. If this thing really gets active with options, I will trade it. But not today.
Yeah.
Up the list. What we got? Zach NZ wants to know about your leather jacket, Carlos. Man, you're in fashion, man. It's you are in fashion.
I'm gonna be styling. Let me check. Let me go log on to Temu.com. Log on and see. Delivery guarantee. Yeah, sure. Get shipment updates. Let me click on this. See what's going on.
Gabriel, your question here about, do you have to get elite membership to get the funded account? I don't believe so. I don't believe so. I think Carlos might know better, or our BBT team here.
What's the question?
Do you have to get the elite membership to get the funded account, or can you get them separately?
No, you could actually get the funded account separately. There is a link to that. It's a hidden link. I don't know where they keep it. Let's check here. But yeah, there's a funded account link that you can just apply for the funded account. You don't have to get the elite membership to get the funded account.
Nice. That's it. T-Man, you want Carlos to get a Honda? You're getting a Harley, boy.
Oh man, your bike is nice though. I see a picture. That's a really nice bike.
Yeah, thanks. I enjoy it. I really just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah.
Yep, we'll get the link for you. I'm looking it up right now. There is somewhere in here. We'll get it for you. Give me 1 second. But we do have it.
There you go. Cool, cool. What's going on with stocks here? There we go. More Avinacci stuff in play, guys. Google hitting the level. It's been respecting levels all day. Look at that. Right there, right there. Breakout. Retest. Reversal. It's amazing. Frank the Tank. I don't use VWAP. Most of us use DOS and most of us use VWAP, including the pre-market information. I don't, yeah. Jesse Lewis, do you have a course? Yes, I do, Jesse. Let me put the link in here. That's also within Trading Terminal. Oh yeah, now we're having this love discount. Some season of love, right? Valentine's
Yes,
Day and all that.
indeed.
So we're feeling very loving. Everything's half price. So go get some. There you go. Links here in the chat, guys, for the course. Frank, you were asking about that. Not Frank, sorry, Jesse, you were asking about that. So, yeah. Season of love, isn't that nice? Sounds pretty.
It is nice. Valentine's coming up, guys. Don't forget, if you haven't gotten your gift for your significant other, make sure you do so. Here is the promo we're running now, so take advantage of that. And yeah, so it should be pretty cool. And if you forgot to get something, here's a hack. You could do this very quickly. Just get a little glass bowl, like a little glass bowl with a top in it, and then get sticky notes, right? This is so easy to do. It costs you nothing. Get sticky notes and then write little things, little messages for your significant other, like, hey, I love the way you do this and that, or this and this, and get personal, get really personal in detail, and then just put every sticky note in there with a chocolate. So you give it to her or him, and then say, hey, when you want to have a chocolate, open up the sticky note, read something, it'll make them feel nice, and they'll have a chocolate, right? Very simple, very effective, doesn't cost anything. You could do it today, and this way you look like you put some time into it, you know, and it's gonna be very very nice. They're gonna enjoy it because they'll have a chocolate. Like if you can get 10 chocolates in there, I mean, they'll be opening one every day for whatever, so it'll last a long time. So they'll constantly keep remembering that. So it's pretty nice. So just remember who helped you out, BillWithTraders.com. You can always hit a like for that. Love advice.
Oh, there you go. We
Yeah,
provide a lot
yeah.
more than just trading advice, man. We could fix all kinds of.
Absolutely. We want you guys to mess up your diabetes. No, get this. Don't get like a chocolate bar. Get the small chocolate. It could be Hershey's. Get something small. And it doesn't matter. It's not about the chocolate. It's about the notes. Make sure your notes are on point, right? That's what's gonna get the connection going there. All right.
There you go.
And
Got a question.
Yep.
If Faraz wants to know about a double top put to the VWAP from the top of the range Tesla based on the 8 a.m. candle, what are your thoughts on something like this? Some things to be careful. All right, that's an interesting question. So you're talking about a double top off of VWAP and the level's also in the same place. I don't think I've ever seen a situation where you can take a reversal at the VWAP. Like for reversals, you basically want the thing to move in one firm direction. And in that sense, it's really, let's say it's long, the VWAP is going to be below it as it's going up. And ideally, it goes up aggressively. So it's quite far extended from the VWAP. Then it hits a level. And then it puts in its candlestick patterns, the reversal patterns that you like to look for. By that point, maybe perhaps the VWAP catches up to it on a 1 minute chart. On a 5 minute, it's not likely. And then perhaps you can use that. But I don't really look at the VWAP as an indicator for a reversal strategy. Never have. I think the VWAP's really useful when you're trading at the open, you're doing ORB stuff, you go long above it, short below it, stuff like that. I think it's really useful. Or later in the day when you have a directional stock, then it comes back to the VWAP later. Now you might have something, perhaps a bounce off it or a break through it, and you have an ABCD kind of pattern. Those sorts of things make sense. But you're talking about serious reversals, just because of the nature of the setup of reversals, as in it has to be directional to begin with and then set up. So and reversals happen later in the day, like at least 30 minutes later most of the time. You wouldn't get the VWAP in that area. It would be kind of confusing if you do, I think. So I wouldn't I wouldn't mix it up. Try not to mix it up. There we go.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even today, like if you look at Baba's VWAP, I'll show you that here. I didn't use it for my trading today when I went long on this, just because the way the setup was. So if you look at the VWAP here, the stock was selling off, so it was so high up that it made no sense for me. Usually I like getting in at the break of the VWAP, but it's so high up, and I just made the decision. Again, price actions are king, man. The candles are the best indicator you have on your charts. So I went long here based on just getting above all these moving averages, some strong action here. And again, usually the VWAP, if a stock is not selling off in the pre-market, the VWAP will be right around here. So it'll make sense to use it. But when it's up here so high, it just made no sense for me to use the VWAP. I could have, and it probably would have worked out, but this entry is much, much better. So you want to, it's like there's rules, but you have ways to make decision on how you want to, there's some exceptions to certain things, right? So even on this breakout here, the VWAP was not a good use this morning on Baba, at least.
Yep. There you go. And that's right. Candlesticks are king. Price action is king, and that's why I've got nothing but candlesticks. Well, that's just me. But price action should outweigh most of your other indicators. I have basically two indicators. For example, horizontal lines and candlesticks. I put more weight in candlesticks than I do on these lines. Very simple. Even though you coined them Avinacci lines and all that stuff, I put more weight in candlesticks. So, again, price action is the first most important thing. Everything else should be a supporting element in your strategy. Most strategies work that way. So think of that. Actually, even that's in the course I put out there. It's all about different indicators and the perception that you can have and what they really mean. How you can then align them up and create a strategy around it. So that's as well in the course in Trading Terminal. And tomorrow we'll be going through a lot of that as well in the webinar that we'll be having at Trading Terminal, 12:30 Eastern. So all good questions. I'm going to go in a lot of detail tomorrow.
Yep, should be fine. I sent the link on that already. So again, tradeterminal.com. It's just a reminder, you don't have to be a BBT member to join. It's completely free. I'll send the link here again, so I don't want you guys to miss it. But just log on to this link, and you're gonna get access to that webinar from Avi tomorrow at 12. So right after we're done here, he's gonna hop over there, and we'll have a good time. Ali, it's not gonna be recorded. These are not recorded. They're just kind of one and done. So. Try to make it if you can, man. It'll be a lot of fun. So yeah.
Make it 12:30 tomorrow. So a little 30-minute break after this YouTube session, and we'll be on there. And come and get some. And don't forget, it's Valentine's, right? So I got a lovely gift for all of you guys who do show up and spend the evening with me.
Ah, nice.
There you go. A little piece.
Yeah.
There you go.
Is it a leather jacket?
I don't know. This gift's a little more romantic. It has to be a little romantic.
Yeah.
Leather jackets and skulls and stuff. That's after Valentine's, that's the stuff. But
yep, absolutely. Is it a note with chocolate? Yeah, I'm telling you, BW Davis, it works. It works. So definitely do the chocolates in a bowl, and with every chocolate has to have a note. It works. Here's my update. So I should be getting this by Saturday, 9 p.m. So Saturday, 9 p.m. I should be in style. It's going to be past Valentine's, so I won't be able to wear it to my Valentine's dinner, but that's okay. We'll rock it here on Monday. if it gets here. Let's see if it gets here.
It'll get there. I'm looking forward to it, man. I want to see this.
Yeah.
Jacket.
If I become a BBT member, do you get access to Trading Terminal? Well, Trading Terminal is free right now, so it's completely free. There's no charge for it at the moment, right? We've been somewhat an extended beta on this thing, and this is why there's some constant changes to it and upgrading. So I know Andrew wants to revamp a lot of the Trading Terminal stuff, and eventually, you have to charge something for it. It'll be cheap compared to what everything else is out there for what you get. I mean, the scanners alone are awesome, right? So just that alone is a big update for you. Um, but as you know, as you start putting it behind a paywall, right, you kind of get a little bit of some membership, small amount. Then you start taking that money and investing in the technology and making it better and better. And that's how you kind of build this up to what it needs to, that we want to get it to, right? Because data costs money. It's when you pay this 150 for DAS, right, which again it's expensive, but it's just the timeliness of data, it costs money. So think of it that way. You're getting a lot of great information, a lot of data, so you got to pay for that. Someone asked me as well here, how much does all the tools that I have for trading cost? Well, it's a lot at first when you start out, because you're not really making money. You're actually losing money when you start trading until you actually can break even. But my cost is not, it's not that expensive given what you can get out of trading. I mean, Abby, let me know if I missed anything, but you got your 150 for Dash Trader Pro. Some people use different platforms. We got some people in our community that use the different platforms that are cheaper. It depends on your trading style. For the 5-minute ORB, the way I trade, how active I trade, I need Dash Trader Pro and that fast-paced platform. So you got 150. Let's say you're joining BBT, that's another $100 a month for your education. If you do the annual membership, it's even less per month, but I'll just do the monthly. So now you're at $250 already. And then the rest of the stuff you have the chat room, right? You're gonna have a lot of information on there. If you're paying for the $99, you have all the educational stuff already through BBT, so that's gonna be on there as well. And you already have your internet, which you pay for already. So it's not that expensive once you start, adding it up. So maybe you get a couple of books, buy a couple of courses of tradingterminal.com. Those are one-time stuff, it's not that expensive. The expense is gonna come when you are giving money to the markets because you're trying to figure things out, right? That's when it really comes in. That's gonna be your biggest expense. And then eventually when you figure things out, break even, then you even worry about it.
Mm-hmm. That's absolutely right. Get the right tools and take the time to learn it right, and yeah, you will lose money. Just make sure you don't blow up so you can survive. And that's the learning curve. Survive the learning curve. Get the right tools, the right communities, the right courses, the right mentors, all this stuff. And think about it as a business expense. What, $200-300 a month is not a big deal. Try starting a restaurant and tell me how expensive that is. It's a lot more expensive.
Yeah, any other business. I mean, you gotta think. It's a good point. You gotta think about this as a business, not as like day trading. If you think of it as a business, the cost of entry is extremely low, right? So, yeah, it's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So do it right. And I'm beginning to see a breakout opportunity here on NVIDIA, perhaps a move to the downside. It's a very tricky one, but I'm seeing lower highs and a flat bottom at a support area. It was resistance turned support. So far, this pattern is a setup for a breakdown, break through the level. Let's see what happens. For now, the support is holding. NVIDIA is in an interesting place. I think it's has a likelihood to pop from here. So keep an eye on that. What else we got here? Sean Christopher, we're using DAS Trader Pro here, DAS. And you get with the BBT membership, you get a discount for DAS subscription. Is that right, Carlos? If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I believe so. I'm in the dashboard right now. So when you sign up for BBT, all the links are here. Here's the funded account link. Found it. Let me send you guys this. Okay. But yeah, there's a link here for Dash Trader Pro. Let me see what that discount looks like. Here's the funded account link. Some of you guys were asking for, so I sent that over. And then there's a link also for Dash Trader Pro. Let me send you this as well. Yeah, I believe there is some kind of discount there. Actually, for the simulator, right? If you're doing the simulator, there is a discount. But if you're gonna be live trading, obviously you got to pay the price of DAS, because that goes to DAS, doesn't go to us. So.
Yeah. There you go, guys. A question here from BWD Viz1. I'm sorry, I can't even pronounce it. What is the question? Appears to be a descending wedge. Yeah, exactly. Descending wedge. is what I'm watching on Nvidia. It's basically been descending. All the highs are getting lower, but now the bottom's in, as in it's a flat bottom here. So let's see what happens. So far, it was making lower highs. Now, at the moment, seems to be popping up. So interesting, right? Something's going to happen at this level. So far, the last 2 minutes or so, it's looking bullish. But just prior to that, it was a descending wedge. So there you go. You can call that maybe a failed pattern if you like. I used to trade stuff like that. Look for a pattern that doesn't come true and just go the other way. But that's dangerous. It's not successful. That's why I don't trade that way anymore. So there you go. You need that kind of, experience. So you get into BBT, work with moderators and mentors and stuff, you learn stuff like that. You get a good, clear picture of what doesn't work. That's very important. That eliminates most of the garbage. New user, does DOS work with Fidelity? I don't know. I believe it does. I don't see why it would not. Anyone in the chat have the answer to that? Does DOS Trader work with Fidelity? Again, I have no experience with that. I have not tried it. That's why I wouldn't know. I think we have a few guys who use TD Ameritrade with DOS, I think. Oh, I'm not sure. Anyways, we'll find out.
Does DAS work with TD Ameritrade?
The question here is about Fidelity. Does it work with Fidelity?
Oh, Fidelity. Oh, I'm not sure. I know DAS has been adding a couple of brokers. They added TD Ameritrade, Schwab now. So they added a couple of brokers you can use. I'm not sure if Fidelity is one of them, but go to their website. If you go to their website, DAS website, they might have that there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look. Yeah. You can always chat with them as well and see. They might give you some information like, oh, we don't have it yet. We're working on it. Because I remember when TD Ameritrade at that time, I think, or Swim, with TD, they didn't have it. And then they were telling us, yeah, we're working on creating them, and they have a couple other ones that they're doing. So be on the lookout. I would send them a text. If you can't find it on the website, I would chat with them and get that information. All right, let's see what we got going on here. My trade on Bob is going sideways for the last couple of hour or two. It's just hanging out around the 1778 level. Went as high as 1860. Just got a little bit left. I was thinking about you, Avi. I'm like, I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna do an Avi on this trade. I'm gonna hold it for like ever to the end of the day. At least what I have left, what I haven't taken out yet. Like, let me hold it. Let me do an Avi long trade today. Avi will be proud of me. Let me hold this thing. So we'll see how it goes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. First, we started with the jacket. Now we started with the style. What's next?
If I start trading options full time, then yeah, that's definitely you're being too much of an influence on me, man. Start putting up with a bike here.
Yes, you gotta get it. Yes, a little motorcycle. Motorcycle. There you go.
Oh, there it is. Awesome. Good stuff. But man, today was such a great day. I mean, Apple. Look at Apple breaking out. Tesla was probably it was okay. Had a couple of really good moves, but it had a great breakout in the morning as well. SMCI also a little bit tough at the morning. Good for scalping if you're in and out quickly, and then just a nice sell off into 10 o'clock into all the way to 11. What else we had? Dash. You guys remember Dash? This stock had earnings, and I did not put it on my list. And I did mention this in chat earlier, but I want to show you why. Just look how nasty this chart is. So again, they did great on earnings, but their market open is brutal. So sometimes you'll see us say, yeah, this stock doesn't trade very well. It's because of this. Even with earnings, great numbers. They gapped up pretty big here. They gave some back in the pre-market, but you can see how bad this chart is. The lack of volume, like you're barely getting even 150,000 per 5-minute candle. So usually when you have a stock like this, they're not fun to trade. For my style, they don't work. So when you hear saying, hey, yeah, the stock doesn't trade well, this is kind of like what we're talking about, right? Just this sideways action. Upstart, much better today, man. This was beautiful. So I wish I would have saw this earlier, but I was already in bow at this point. But that traded nice. Lyft is another one that actually surprisingly traded well also. So that did its thing there. And then what else we have for earnings? We had one more. It was Dash, Upstart, Lyft, and oh yeah, SMCI. We spoke about that one already. So a lot of great opportunities, man. Hopefully you guys made out. I saw a lot of you guys earlier on today taking trades. So hopefully you had a great day today. So I think it's looking pretty good.
Yeah. Awesome day for all kinds of strategies. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Everyone gets an opportunity on a day like today. Good. For now, though, I'm seeing things are kind of stuck. Nvidia did do a move from that level as we were talking about 5 minutes ago. Basically a failed descending wedge, you could call it that. And it's made a nice move up, popped up 131. And if you look at levels, you can see what it likes to do at these levels, just going between them, right? So right now, more recently, just bounced off the bottom, likely to go to the top. Likely. No guarantees in the market, but you can you can get a hint of what it wants to do. Lots of fun.
Yep. Yep, that is correct. Powell is talking. You can see him there doing his thing. He's yesterday he spoke to Congress. Today is the U.S. House, so we see him there doing his stuff at the moment. So we'll see. He's gotten so good at these things, man. So he actually did very good yesterday. Said all the right things. Market reacted positively. So he's there he goes, licking of the finger in the paper. But yeah, he's doing his thing.
Powell.
Yeah, man.
Oh, there it is. Yep. In the chat here, did Life Observer, did I go long Nvidia after double top? I did not trade Nvidia today. But if I saw double top, it would have been a short, not a long, right? Double top by definition is a top, means you go down from there. So no, I didn't see that. I didn't trade that. Got a question here about the Australian market. No idea about the Australian market. But my question back to you is why? Time zone, perhaps it's easier for you. That would make some sense. But you want liquidity and you want an actively volatile moving market for day trading. And the NASDAQ is all of those things. So, and that's why, you have all kinds of liquidity, all kinds of movements. That's why we're here doing it this way. And from all over the world, people are just day trading the NASDAQ. Within our BBT community, we have people from everywhere. I mean, hell, I'm in Dubai. I have Ayman in Moscow. We have people everywhere. I got mentees in Australia who are trading the US market with me at the open every day. Even Singapore, trading the markets there. Plenty of people here in the Middle East, in Europe. We got mentees from all over, and BBT, of course, plenty. So
yeah, all these other different markets, like there's the Australian, I think there's an Indian market as well. The one thing that comes down to is the volume, right? You're not going to get that explosive volume that you get in the US market. So like a 5-minute RB, I could imagine it will be looking like a dash trade, right? And that's just not going to work. So some strategies are not going to work. Swing trading, investing will work, because that's pretty much looking at the stock and thinking where's the stock going to go in the next couple of weeks, months. So that's that you could do there. Or if you want to invest in a stock that only trades in in the Asian markets or an Australian market. But when it comes to day trading, without volume, without that type of volume, it's very, very tough to trade. So yeah. So we don't know if our strategies are going to work there. Probably not as well as they do in the U.S. markets. Danny, do most traders on BBT eventually become profitable? No, we're not doing magic here. Let's be realistic. Trading is very difficult, and 90% of people failed. Yes, are you going to get the best education possible? Absolutely. But can I say out of the hundreds of thousands of members that we have that everyone is profitable eventually? No, some people that just are not going to get this. They're just not going to be disciplined enough. They're just not going to make the changes. It's just the way it works, right? Now, do we have some really great profitable traders? We have $1 million traders that are members that are just in incredible, at trading, right? I mean, they've been with us for quite some time. Some of them came in, they just want to be part of a community. Like they already came in as as a great trader. Maybe they became better through BBT and some of the teachings from Andrew back in the days, and now the other moderators, and they just want to be part of a community. So we got all kinds of different members in the community, which is nice. So yeah, it's like Andrew says, right? We can teach you how to make money. The problem is teaching you how to keep the money. That's the hardest thing. We'll teach our strategies. You're going to get the strategies. You're going to get the technology. You're going to understand psychology. But helping you keep the money and helping you being disciplined, a lot of it's going to fall on the person, right? And if the person can make those key changes to turn the corner, it's tough. It's tough. And time. A lot of people are not willing to wait, 3 to 4 years. That's how long it took me, 3 to 4 years. So I'm not saying it's going to take everybody 3 to 4 years. I'm not saying that. Don't get scared. But for some, it will take that long. They're not willing to wait that long. They want to try it for a year. At most, if they don't see success, they're out the door. So that's not going to work for them. So
you give yourself the best possible opportunity by being in BBT. I can tell you that. I mean, that's my story. So, but again, you got to have the right mindset. If you come in and you're looking to get rich quick, then we'll straight up tell you you're in the wrong place. But if you really want to figure this out, sustainable for a long time, you want to be in this business, and you want to have all the freedoms that it offers, which is time freedom, financial freedom, location freedom, all that stuff. It's worth it. It's worth putting in the time. It's worth having the right attitude to begin with, which is the market's going to kick your butt, and you're going to have to figure out how to be a good loser. How do you lose more than half of your trades and still stay in the game, and don't explode emotionally, and have that patience and resilience. And you learn that through the guys who've been doing it before you, and that's what we have a lot of in BBT. That's all the mentors, moderators, all that stuff that we got going on, all the education, all the webinars we keep doing, all of this stuff. And really, that's what it takes. If you got a strict time frame on it, 6 months, 1 year, and you think you're gonna make it good here, millions of dollars every month, that's not realistic. This is not some pump and dump, low float garbage thing. So it's fully worth it. It's effort, but just like anything on this planet, right, or anything in this universe, all good things take time, and all good things are, take effort. You got to earn it. Think of it that way. You will get what you deserve. So become the person who deserves to be successful at trading, and then you'll be all right. I mean, I put that stuff in my course too about what is it to be a trader. And so you got to think of it that way. It's an attitude. It's a mindset. Yep. You got to comment here. The ego will absolutely kill you. The ego will hurt you. And even your self-destructive thoughts when you're in a losing streak, that'll also hurt you. You got to learn how to handle a losing streak. And again, a lot of guys who have been there before, and that's what all the education center is all about. That's why it's incredibly robust. The education is amazing. What we've got, I'm amazed we've built all this. So that's what it is, guys. That's what it is. Even for me,
it's come a long way. That's for sure. Yeah. I also remember 2017 when I first started in the simulator and going to the courses. And man, if I could have a screenshot, I hope they have that somewhere, like screenshots of what the education center looked like back then to now. Woo. And the tools. Oh man, we got Alexander. There's some archives with the screenshots of those setups, man. That's wow. that was nice. That was nice. It'll be a nice comparison.
Yes. It's different even from 2019 when I got into it, and yeah, very different already. I'd love to see it.
I see Apple here climbing higher, so they're doing some stuff. It's trying to head towards that high of the day right now. My trade on Baba is heading higher too. Let's see if we can go back to the high of the day. So both of these, again, with their great news over the last couple of days, taking advantage. But the SPY is moving up, so maybe is Powell done talking? Is he done? Nope, he's still going. So maybe he's saying all the right things here.
Got a lot to say.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, Brendan's got a good comment in here. Yep, with comparing the way you traded years ago and looking at it now, looking at your old recaps or screenshots and all. It's amazing. You
gotta
look at your
go
own
back.
prop.
Yeah.
Yeah, holy crap. I mean, even again, the webinar I'll be doing tomorrow, I'll be showing you guys some of that stuff, how I used to trade low floats, and I have those screenshots. I'll bring it out tomorrow in the
Oh,
webinar.
nice, nice,
And
nice.
you're gonna see stuff on the screen that, geez, my goodness, it hurts to look at it, but it's amazing to see how far you go with the right environment,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
progress. It's amazing.
that's awesome, man. Definitely looking forward to it, guys. Don't miss it. Should be good.
Yeah. And I got all excited today. I spent a few hours putting the slides together. I'm like, oh man, I want to do this webinar right now. This is so exciting. But
Yeah,
gotta wait.
yeah.
24 hours, guys. Tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern. So be there.
Right, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah. Yes,
Tonight,
yes.
don't forget, we have earnings tonight. Again, I don't trade earnings, but I love watching the reaction on earnings, and then I'll be prepared for tomorrow morning. But tonight we have earnings, so the big one for me is going to be Reddit. This stock, let me show you the chart on this ticker, man. This ticker is just wild. I think it's, at least in my time watching stock as close as I do now, this has to be one of the best IPOs I've seen since I started trading. And I say that because you see a lot of IPOs, they go underwater quickly. Let me show you, maybe the monthly would be probably better. There it is. This thing IPO 2024. So last year, March, looks like. And around $60. Since then, it didn't do, like some stocks, they do this. They do the dip, right? They hang out here for years, and then they come back up, to break even, right? Because all the excitement. This thing had the excitement, and then it just kept it. Like, it just kept going. Huge month in October last year. End of the year, it just went on steroids here. I just don't know. Look at these candlesticks at the end of the year into February. Just wild. So they're going to report tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this one. There's some other ones that we have as well, but this is the one I'm going to be hoping to trade. SMCI was one that I was hoping to get payback and get my money back on, but today, and it didn't turn out that way. It just was messy. But looking forward to this earnings tonight for sure. And as far as trading, will be in the morning. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. That'll be exciting. I want to stay up for that. It'll be 1 a.m. here.
Sleep, man. I like my sleep. I like my sleep. This is why I don't bag hold, because I love my sleep, man. No. I get if you can make it, man. That's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, the kids are home from school now. It's what do you call half term, so there's no need to go to bed early tonight. So look at that. I'm teasing myself now. No. Sleep is important. Very
Sleep
important.
is important. Yeah, we'll be live tonight. Nicholas, at 3:30 Eastern time. We'll be on the usual crew, myself, Peter, Brian, and Jared. So
Nice. I'm seeing a possible double top short opportunity on Apple. It's a very tricky one. It's not clean. The setup just occurred. If you guys see it on my screen, it hit the level on top. The second one's lower. It printed a bearish candle. You see this big red one? The new 1 minute low would be the entry, ideally, but this is not a clean top. The second top is not well defined. It's kind of like more consolidation and hanging out. You can see these are the little subtleties and strategy that you really want to get going with. Otherwise, 2-3 years ago, I may have taken the short here, but it's not a perfect setup, and then you don't know what to do with it when it goes against you. That's where the education center is important. You learn about the subtleties in the price action or in the setup and the strategies, all that stuff. Again, I'll be talking about this in the webinar tomorrow. How do you work with strategies? How do you define your strategy? How do you reveal and find your strategy that works for you? And then, using the education center and all the guys have done all this stuff before you. So there you go. Things to think about. Day trading is tricky. You better be your best self. Lots of sleep and the right people in your environment.
yeah,
That's what made it work for me. Very important. There you go. Look at that. Right now it's going the other way. If you had taken that short, it'd be a very tough one. That's the kind of stuff I look for in trading. And I have Google's interesting. Look at that. Google made a decent looking double bottom, just about at the level and pushed up already. Didn't even look at that. and it gets to a level, consolidate and continue the move. That's a continuation pattern, ABCD. So that seems to be underway at the moment. Google's been a good trader recently.
There was a comment in chat about, you know, you have a MacBook Pro or a Mac and you can use Dash Trader Pro. Check out Parallels. They allow you to use your to run Windows, and that's what I did for my entire 7-month simulation. That's what I did, and I'll show you here my setup, because I actually have it, and this is going back 2017. Let me show you guys what that looks like. Oh, where's the screen? I have it here. So try Parallels. It'll allow you to run that, and again, you can use whatever you have, because I strongly believe use whatever you have at the moment, right? I think that's important. You don't have to go crazy. So here's my setup. Here's what I started with, right? So this is my office when I was at the end of the last year when they were relocating. So I have my Mac. Here's Andrew. This is going back now. This is going way back. But yeah, here's my setup, and this is probably offensive now. It's probably not a lot. Can you imagine doing this at 9 to 5? I had like 20 employees reporting to me. With this thing here, I'll probably get in trouble now. Everybody's so sensitive. But yeah, this is my setup here. 2 monitors and the Mac, and I was running Parallels, and you're able to run Windows. So you know you should be able to do that. Try like this. Save money. Use whatever you have. Don't buy stuff. You know, you don't need a powerful 3090 graphics card from NVIDIA to run Dash Trader Pro. See if that works for you. And I think Parallels allows you to also use get a trial. I think they give you like a month trial or something, so you can see if it works with your system. So it's pretty neat.
There we go. That's awesome, man. Great to look at that. How you started out. Brilliant.
Oh yeah. This was I did 7 months here, right? So again, my job gave me 2-year notice of that they were ending my job, and my job was ending. They were relocating to Kentucky, but I had a stay on bonus. I had 12 years with the company, and I had to stick around to the end because they consider me one of the critical people, you know, for the transition. And yeah, man, it got to a point where I was just coming into work just to get paid. Like all my work had already transitioned, but I still had to stay to the end of December. So I'm like, I got to figure out something with my life. So I started looking into trading, and that's how I got into it. But yeah, I love this job, man. I had a great team which I built from scratch. If it was not for this relocation, I would not be trading. I would not look for something else. I was so comfortable in this place, man. But yeah, it was. It's nice to go back and see the progression, you know. So yeah.
No, absolutely. I've got a picture similar to that I could share with you guys here. If I find it in the next few minutes, I'll bring it out for you.
Awesome.
Same idea, MacBook and all that. Same idea. So there you go. You can always get started without too much fuss.
Yep, absolutely. Parallels a pay service. Yes, it is a pay service. You have to pay for it. But when that Mac you saw there, I just finished buying that, right? So I'm like, I am not gonna buy Windows to try this thing. You know, let me get something cheaper, and the cheaper option was Parallels, and they're not that expensive, you know, to try it out. And then if you see, okay, things are working, I like the way we're moving here, go ahead and start investing in a Windows PC. You know, but to start, just start with what you have right now. A lot of people have all the systems they need in their household at the moment, so I will definitely do that. Man, your Apple trade's working out here. I know you didn't take it, but you called it out. It's dropping. It's dropping pretty nice. Apple's going down nicely here.
There you go. Interesting, huh? There you go, guys. Setups are important, and knowing the nuances is important too. And then you got to do what you can control, and what you can't control is patience for your setups, and then hold your stops. As in, if it hits your stop, you stop. If it hits your target, you take your profit. You can control that. But what you cannot control is what happens after you take the entry, or what happens after you decide not to take the entry. That's out of your hands. So no point getting flustered about that. So think about 2 things you can't control is, well, entry and exit. Everything else you do not control. Detachment, right? And then you trade better. It's all mindset. Again, mindset. Really, really important. Detachment. I can't tell you how important that is in trading.
Yeah, absolutely. Mini PC, $200 on Amazon, James. I would not trust that. There's no way. This probably got like, 8 gig RAM. I highly recommend something higher. But yeah, that's too cheap, in parallels, again, it's $99 for the whole year, right? So it's really inexpensive, opposed to buying a PC. Because then if you want to buy, when you want to buy something nice, like, maybe $1,000 PC will get you through a couple of years. Anything less than that, these Chromebooks and all this stuff, man, they are so garbage. They'll last you a couple of months, and once you start downloading stuff in it, they'll go slow. I got one for my daughter, when they did when COVID hit and all the kids were doing classroom from home. Actually, I didn't get one. No, correction. The school gave her one. It was so bad, so I had to go out and buy her like a $700 laptop at that time, which did pretty well. But these PCs, man, if you go too low, you're gonna pay for it in other ways. I guarantee you that.
Yeah, you don't want to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Make it good. I mean, the one I got is the one I started with. I'm still with it. I brought it with me from Colorado when I moved to Dubai. I had 6 screens on it. Now I got one screen on it. It's still in play. It's still good. Some sort
Yeah.
of big, powerful gaming thing on Amazon, and that's that. So yeah,
But
I
yeah,
want it
James, I
to
get what
work.
you're saying. It's inexpensive. It is inexpensive to get a good PC. So I get the comment for sure. Um, but yeah, try different things. See what works.
Yeah. What are we looking at? Mike Matini, you're talking about measured moves on Apple don't match mine. You want to see the Apple 8 a.m. candle? Yeah, where is the 8 a.m. candle? Right there. So the top on the 8 a.m. candle is 233. The bottom is 232.50, let's call it. So there you go, 50-cent range. I'm gonna guess, Mike, you're using a different software, a different platform, probably TradingView. A lot of people have been having that issue. So that's what it is, I think. There you go, Brendan got it. Cool, cool. What else is moving here?
Just looking at Baba, man, this stock is so good today, man. It's going up towards the high here, so but I'm gonna hold it because I believe this story is big for these guys. So I think I'm gonna hold it probably to the end of the day, see how high we can get here. Again, not being greedy on it, but it's just I think this catalyst is really really strong on Baba. So. And I think Apple's benefiting from it as well. So pretty cool stuff here.
Nice. Yeah, Apple, Baba, there you go. Looks like these are in play.
Yeah,
Again, if Baba ever gets a very active options chain, I would look into this.
yeah. That's the thing. They're not heavily active. I mean, they're also Chinese tickers, so they're not heavily active. The last couple of days is not the norm. The last 2 weeks or so, but yeah, let's see if
Yeah.
this thing can spice it up and get it going here.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Did you guys see RGTI too? RGTI, Rigetti Spaghetti, as we like to call it here, started rocking today. RGTI, here we go. So we had a nice move on this. Lately, they dropped pretty bad yesterday, and today they're trying to recover. So if you look at the intraday action here, man, they're doing pretty good. As low as 10.90, now at 11.90. So looking to break high of day. We'll see how these quantum stocks are moving higher today. So should be interesting tomorrow. QBTS also going up a little bit here. So you got a couple of these kind of making a comeback
Nice.
from yesterday's
Yeah.
sell-off.
Very interesting. Man, what crazy movements. I was talking with Brian earlier and we were saying, my goodness, there's opportunities like wild on any strategy, on any ticker, literally. You have the whole BABA thing, you have all this RGTI kind of stock, you have the Mag 7 and the options world. I'm like, holy crap. Look at Apple
Yeah.
now. Here it goes. What a rip. High of day, just ripped right through it. It's going the other way. Look at that.
Look at Meta. Meta is
That's
just such a powerhouse, man. This stock is great. So back towards the all-time highs here. We haven't broke the all-time highs yet. I don't think so this morning. I don't think we have. Maybe in the pre-market hours. Close. No, not really. No, we still haven't broke the all-time highs here from a couple of days ago. But it is looking like today is going to. I'll have the all-time high around 725, maybe a little bit lower. Is where I have it here. But this thing is just on fire.
Wow. Didn't catch a trade on this, but my goodness, wouldn't this be great? Trying to see.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really see a clean setup anywhere on the chart, but there it is. Big moves. It's putting in monstrous moves every day. And yeah,
Yeah.
oof, a lot of fun. When you get some of this, it's great. I just took a short on it earlier and got a very fast drop. But that was that. Other than that, it's awesome.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Um,
Powell took his glasses off. He's serious. Whatever he's saying, I'm not listening to it. I'm just watching it, trying to read the some of the headlines. But he took his glasses off, but he looks like he's saying something serious here. Helping the market push higher once the glasses come off. It's a different Powell. He's got to be tired. You know, hours of questions and this and that. Yeah, it's exhausting.
Kind of funny. He just takes his glasses off and everything goes bullish. I love it.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Apple. Let's see. Apple smashing to the level any moment now. There it is.
We are long. We are long on a lot of tickers right now. Market is loving it. Oh, he put the glasses back on, so we might start shorting the stock now. The
Everyone
glasses
buys
come. He just put them back on, so we might have to short the stocks here. Awesome stuff. All right, we'll see. I'm sure we'll get a couple of headlines of what Powell said today and yesterday. I'm sure it's the same old stuff, but whatever he's doing, the market is loving it as he continues to get questions from the U.S. House. Guys, over on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. You guys hanging out with us as we finish up the morning session of trading. More to come. And also remember, 3:30 tomorrow we have, 3:30 today we have earnings. So stick around for that. Come back and join us there. And then don't forget tomorrow, guys, at tradingterminal.com, 12:30, Avi's doing his webinar. It's going to be very, very educational. And he has a Valentine gift for you guys, so don't miss it. Avi, good to have you back, my friend. We'll chat tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you, everyone on YouTube. Always fun having a chat with y'all. Talk to you soon.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a good one.